G_Coon71. Producing the program on the ones and twos is Go Tigers 247 writer Bryant Dacus. On Twitter at Bryant_Dacus. And my partner does pre and post for the Ole Miss Football Radio Network. He is Brett Stats Norsworthy on Twitter at Brett Norsworthy. Brett, how's it hanging? That was an interesting game. You got to see it inside the park home run last night. How about that?
I did. First one I've ever seen at any level above kind of teenage baseball. I've never seen one at college or AA or AAA or major leagues. And first one for the Cardinals since 2001. That was on the road by Fernando Vina. First one by a Cardinal at home in St. Louis since Vince Coleman.
In 1985,
right? 1985.
I got that one right. There it is. And by the way, when were y'all going to tell me? I have beef with y'all. I have real beef with you and Bryant. Why didn't you tell me Kramer Robertson's mother was Kim Mulkey? I probably should have known that, but y'all didn't let me know.
I thought we discussed it yesterday.
We discussed it yesterday, but not on the air. When we were discussing him coming up in regards to Paul DeYoung going down.
I thought I mentioned how often I see her at AutoZone Park and have through the years. And Kramer was just a great player at LSU and big league defense. I mean, he could play 15 years with his defense. He scuffles at the plate, and guess what pitch he scuffles with? It's universal.
Yep.
If it's got a little curve on it, it's tough to hit, and that's what sends a lot of good players home. But he got his shot last night. I figured using $700,000 as the league minimum. Last night was worth $5,000, about $5,000 to Kramer Robertson. Won 160 seconds, about $4,300.
Is it only
throw in?
Okay, $5,000 to him. I thought it's $20,000 every time you get every time you get brought up. That's what I understand.
Well, I thought you just got paid on a per game basis.
Well, you do once you're actually up there and you stick for a while. But every time that you are brought up from AAA to the majors, you get a payday as well.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
When they option you and the per diem. So yesterday was a good day for Kramer. Got in late game as a pinch runner. Cardinals got a little something going in the ninth, but couldn't get past the Orioles. And Gabe, I'll tell you, for a Tuesday night, against the Orioles on a night that the Blues are in the playoffs, it was a thin crowd at Busch Stadium last night.
Yeah, it was what it was. I would imagine there's a few people across the street, Ballpark Village, trying to watch the Blues game. Blues win 5-2 last night.
They were, but they said crowds have been good this year, and this weekend they're expecting the biggest weekend crowds of the year with the San Francisco Giants.
I would imagine as much. By the way, a little side note, Packy Naughton's got to be a top 5 name in Cardinals history.
It's way up there.
It's up there.
I thought I was going to see Adam Wainwright, and I saw old number 70.
Packy Naughton. It wasn't the best outing, but that name, Packy Naughton. He's a Patrick. I had to go check. He's a Patrick. Packy's not a legal name.
That's up there with Scipio Spinks and Julio Gotay.
There you go. I remember Bo Hart. That was a good name, too.
Bo Hart, who was in Memphis with the Redbirds, and they brought him up and decided to throw him only fastballs, and he feasted for about 3 weeks.
It feasted for 3 weeks. Unreal. He's hitting about 400 for those 3 weeks.
It was the Bo Hart phenomenon.
The fall-off was pretty incredible, though, and fast.
Yep.
Very, very fast.
The scout got around. The tape got around, but the Cardinals had some legendary – they even had a player in the 80s that was truly the player to be named later. When he was with the Cardinals, he was Juan Gonzalez. He was traded to the Giants and became Juan Uribe. He was truly the player to be named later.
There you go. Very nice. Now, first out of our show brought to you by Lexus of Memphis, the one and only Lexus dealership in Memphis. We have a bunch to get to today. 2 nasty Game 5s last night. Just nasty.
Two horrible efforts.
Home teams clean up. Heat and Suns take 3-2 series leads easily. I mean, it's just not even close. Also, plenty of Ja discussion. As we have some clarity on his injury, figured it out as we got out yesterday, but it is being called a right knee bone bruise. So while all that is going on, it is do or die for the Grizzlies at home in Game 5 versus the Warriors tonight. We get to all that in just a moment. But also on the docket, outside of the NBA playoffs, we have some interesting NBA news. After that disgusting end of the season for the Brooklyn Nets, their GM, Sean Marks, faced the media today, and he was asked about Kyrie and his long-term viability with the team. His answer may surprise you to a certain extent. I mean, he did not mince words. It was also a wacky night in Major League Baseball outside of Packy Naughton and an inside-the-park home run for Harrison Bader in the bottom of the sixth of that game last night. But we had a near no-hitter from Justin Verlander, a no-hitter, and a right-handed hitter hit a left-handed home run in his first left-handed at-bat, and that at-bat was against a position player. If that was confusing, we'll give you a little more clarity at the bottom of the hour. On top of all that, Alex Kuhn at 3:30 from KGYM Radio in Cedar Rapids. We have golf talk and picks at 4 o'clock, usually with John Goen. John is actually caught up, has some things that he has to do, so we will do that all on our own. Also at 4:45, we have Way Back Wednesday that we need to get to. You know, we bridge the gap between the generations. Brett's going to ask me a few pop culture questions from his day. We have to get out a little bit early with Taco Bell Crunch Time. We'll get out at about 5:25 because we have a 5:30 pregame for Ole Miss at Southern Miss. And first pitch will be at 6 o'clock. AutoZone listener line 901-360-8255. Get in the zone. AutoZone, let us know how you feel about the Grizzlies tonight, where they stand, where you think this series will go from here. You can also watch us live and message us on our socials, Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and go to our website, sports56whbq.com. Well, it is officially do or die, Brett. It is officially get it done or go home time for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, every team faces the elimination, the expiration date. It hits, and tonight could be for the Memphis Grizzlies a little earlier than I think, for sure than I thought, and that most everybody else thought. Even for this series earlier, even after down 0-1 earlier than we thought. But I'll take almost anything tonight as long as it's effort there, as long as it's opposite of what Dallas and Philadelphia turned in last night. And I think the Grizzlies will in front of their home crowd. I sure do. And I think the home crowd will be a great impetus for the Grizzlies. But it's ending earlier than if it ends tonight. It's ending earlier than I sure thought it would. But I don't think overly critical is necessary in this case, because I think there are a lot of factors that the Grizzlies didn't control that have factored in. But Golden State's only really been able to work the Grizzlies offensively one game. Maybe you could argue two games. Game one as well when they got 117. But they've only really just feasted one time.
Yep. So Grizzlies are 4-point dogs, which after the game the other night when they were 10.5, it looks like Vegas has adjusted that line accordingly based on what they think the Grizzlies do defensively. And the Grizzlies defensively without Ja, they're more disruptive. They more havoc. They create more things. They get turnovers. They get hands into passing lanes. They do all that. But the offense without Ja, especially in this playoff setting when less fouls are called, when the defense locks down, it was ugly the other night. And it also doesn't help that you can't get much. You haven't gotten much out of Dillon Brooks. You haven't gotten anything out of Dillon Brooks except for a lot of negativity, I think, in this series. And Desmond Bane's back is clearly locking up on him. But I agree with your sentiment there. The Warriors, you talk about them having torrid shooting stretches. That's happened once. In 3 of the 4 games, they have shot badly, right? So a majority of the time in this series, the Grizzlies have forced them to shoot a poor percentage from the three-point line. And I wonder if they can hold that, if that holds true tonight for the Grizzlies at home.
Gabe, a lot of times, whether it's a coach that's leaving or even a team compared to preseason expectations, for the coach, I like to say, did he leave it better than he found it? Mm-hmm. And if that answer is yes, then I don't think you can be mad that he's moving on or whatever the circumstances are around his exit. For this year, I know they changed. Mine changed. I really fell in love with this Grizzlies team late January. Thought it could make a run. Said I think they could win it all. Picked them pre-playoffs to win it all. I stand by it. Things change. But on opening night, back in October, if somebody had told you,
oh gosh,
the Grizzlies are playing on May 11th downtown at FedEx Forum against Golden State, would you sign up for that right now?
Yes, absolutely. When they were 9-10, 19 games into the year, when you saw them playing 500 basketball at the beginning of the year, would you if they told you that you would end the year with 56 wins?
Heck to the yes.
Second in the Western Conference, you'd take it, and that's where I was going to go with this.
And if you can answer yes to that, then I don't think the criticism needs to be elbow right to the small of the back.
Well,
we're going to dissect this
it's
season.
in the moment. It's in the moment.
We're going to dissect this season in the days and weeks ahead, and in the off season. There's some criticism. There's some fair criticism, but I don't think any of it should be over the top, lambasting, because I'm going to get to it today several times with Top and Not and other takes. This was a growth year for Memphis Grizzlies Inc.
I think that
for the franchise.
I think that understates it, to be honest with you. It's the first time you're dealing with a transcendent superstar type talent that is known nationally. It's the first time you're on shows like NBA Today. You're on shows with Stephen A. Smith and Mad Dog Russo, and they're talking about you.
They're coming to town to cover us.
They're talking about you. You have a weekend game where everyone from ESPN comes into town to cover it. I mean, it's just different than it's ever been. So, just to say it was a year of growth, I think, is understating it. The consistency that this team showed all year through the regular season, the fact that they had the second most wins in the entire NBA and they're the second youngest team in the NBA, I feel like that's almost an understatement.
And coming out of everybody's living nightmare in any business, COVID. I mean, coming out of you're wondering, are people going to come back? Do they feel safe enough? Do they want to spend the money in these economic times on things like that? So you're right. It is understating. This was a sensational year for the Grizzlies, and I'm not setting up the excuse now. I'm telling it how I read it and how I see it and how I think it's fair to present.
It's different when you actually sit back and look at the full embodiment of work. When you look at the entire picture of what the Grizzlies have accomplished this year, it's different. Now, in the moment when you think they have a chance to beat the Warriors and they've blown basically when they've blown basically 2 games in this series, very well could be 2-2,
that's the
3-1 for the Grizzlies. You can be mad at that moment, but when you really take into consideration what this team has done, if it ends tonight, I think overwhelming success. But again, see if they can go ahead and win tonight. Maybe it doesn't have to end tonight. Maybe they can take it into San Francisco. There's a slim chance they can come back.
And if they do that, I don't think a lot of explanation and, shall we say, excuses or reasons, valid or not, should have to be offered. You lose 4. I know they were the 2 seed. I know that.
Yeah.
But also know that Golden State's proud, and I think Golden State's in the last dance mode. They know that this is the last go around.
Yeah, I don't know yet. You asked me that question yesterday. That's just a tough one to get a feel on because I feel like those.
I've been horrible about this historically.
Klay
I thought San Antonio was through in 2011.
Klay Thompson still has some game about him. Draymond's. I mean, he's changed his game, but he's still same old guy defensively. Can pass the ball really well. They have Jonathan Kuminga coming up. They have plenty of money. Still have Steve Kerr as the coach. So we'll see.
What can they get out of Wiseman going forward, if anything?
Let me ask this though. When let's say they get through the Grizzlies, which, I mean, if you're looking at Vegas odds, it's pretty well in their favor. If they get through the Grizzlies and they play the Suns, how do you think a series like that goes? I think the Suns can give them some serious issues. I really do.
I think Phoenix torches them.
Yeah.
And that's what's so aggravating about the opportunity missed for the Grizzlies, to the fan side of it, and even to the talk show host side of it. It was there for the taking. It was there to represent the West at minimum. And maybe Boston would have been really tough on the Grizzlies, but and Miami as well, because the other two aren't going to advance, so no need talking about the other two in the East. But it was a chance year, and it's been missed, but there are going to be other chances in the future. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis, the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Call them at 901-334-9673 and drive in luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Great offers on all 2022 models and always special leasing options. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2022 flagship LS500. You'll be looking and driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com, 901-334-9673. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
top story of the day.
I'm going to keep it relatively short and sweet. Grizzlies versus Warriors, Game 5. Win or go home, do or die for the Memphis Grizzlies. No Ja Morant. Ja Morant has a bone bruise in his right knee that will probably keep him out for the rest of these playoffs. But the Grizzlies defense, I thought, in Game 4 was very well taken. They stood up. They tried to do the right things. Dylan Brooks and some of those situational basketball plays down the stretch, Jaren Jackson taking that three, certainly put them out of the game. But the Grizzlies, when you talk about the body of work that this season was, the growth that this season was, I think you look back on it as an overwhelming positive, because the truth of and I'm not saying that it's going to end tonight. I'm not saying that is the case. But if it does, I think you look back at this season and you absolutely say it's an overwhelming positive, and in the future you'll be looking back on it and sort of seeing that.
My top story, Game 5, and the Grizzlies must stave off the Dubs, or the magical season ends a lot earlier than anyone thought or predicted that it would, starting with the playoffs. But at the beginning of the year, it's gone a lot longer than anybody would have thought. I expect the Grizzlies to play hard and compete tonight. Philadelphia and Dallas, they didn't last night. That was really poor efforts, especially Philadelphia. Dallas wasn't a whole lot better, but it probably wasn't quite as bad as Philly's. But I expect the Grizzlies to play hard. If they win tonight, who knows? Almost beat them the other night. Go out there, win Game 6, get back to Memphis next Monday night. Monday night's famous in Memphis for Monday Night Wrestling. Get Jerry Lawler out there to pull the strap down. Shock the world next Monday night.
Shock
Who knows?
the world. Yes. 3 straight, come back from 3-1. I hear you, Brett. That's positivity.
Not top story of the day.
My not top story has to do with Ja Morant and that bone bruise that we're talking about. And this is interesting. Again, I am not privy to exactly how Ja Morant sustained this injury, but the Grizzlies swear and have been very clear that they think it happened on Jordan Poole's play where he pulled Ja's knee. And I can tell you from experience in these situations, a bone bruise doesn't happen that way. A bone bruise is from an impact. A bone bruise is from a lot of movement on it. A bone bruise is from jumping up and down a whole lot. I don't know if Jordan Poole did that. So the Grizzlies have stated it happened by Jordan Poole, but did it? And now, in the grand scheme of things, this injury can be completely recovered from in 1 to 2 months. It's something that you don't need to think too hard on. But as we've seen with the Grizzlies in their injury report, are they telling the whole story? That's all. That's the only question I will ask about that. Brett, you go ahead and get to your not top.
Very fair, Gabe. Very, very fair question to raise. I would like more rather than less. I'd like a little more clarity on the issue. There's no HIPAA to shield yourself from. Give us a little more. My not top story. It's not the top story today. That's why I'm doing it as the not top story. But it will matter next year. It will matter for the Memphis Grizzlies, Inc., the business, the front office, the Memphis institution that cannot fail and hadn't failed. The Grizzlies have done well in their Memphis run, but it must thrive. And coming out of COVID, everybody had questions. And now, Gabe, remember when I used to ask, when are we going to get Ja Mania? Well, we got it.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep it. We're going to keep it for a long time. Sales, ticket sales, suite sales, buzz, that root. I talk about the root growing and going deeper for the Grizzlies and the NBA as a part of the fabric of the community. It's happened. It's happening. Ending this season, whether it ends tonight, whether it ends Friday night, whether it ends next Monday night, or it ends in 2 weeks or a month, we're ending a season and going into the next year with the future brighter than it's ever been at any point in this franchise history.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. More than the grit and grind era, more than that. What that was,
more than when they were new to town. It was 0-0. It was a new toy around town.
You have a lot of young guys that have a lot of future aspirations. Second youngest team in the NBA, already at this position. The future just looks as bright as it can be, and you have an owner.
I think
you have an owner that's
coach.
You have a great young coach, and you have an owner that, by all accounts, will be willing to go into the luxury tax to keep some of these guys. Now, I will say, going into the offseason, there are some things that the Grizzlies will have to address as far as what they're going to do with Tyus Jones. see if they can bring him back. Kyle Anderson, both those are expiring. And also the future of Dylan Brooks as a Grizzly.
Yeah, that's our top and our not top story. Bellyacres, their motto is City-Fied Farm Fresh, and the goal is simple: provide a fun, unique farm-to-table experience for the entire family. If you can't make it to FedEx Forum tonight, the games will be on at both locations around town. Two great locations, Regalia at 6130 Poplar and in Overton Square at 2102 Trimble Place. TVs everywhere. They have them on all day and all afternoon. Next week, you want to watch the PGA Championship during the weekdays? Two great places to go to. And a third great location for Bellyacres on the way, coming soon, real soon this summer, Silo Square in South Haven. The burgers, signature burgers, made from 100% grass-fed beef, everything fresh. The salads, the sandwiches, everything. And with this weather, this hot weather, it is officially milkshake season and the best milkshakes anywhere. You want a little afternoon delight? You're driving down Poplar right now. You're in Midtown. Stop by either of these locations and cool yourself down with a great milkshake. The burgers like the Dare You or the Double Dare You, the melt in your mouth, and you must try the Voodoo Moo Moo. It is the quality brand the Bellyacres teams develop using grass-fed beef with creative, fresh, homemade toppings in a fun farm setting right here in the big city. The goal at Bellyacres is to become even more sustainable as they grow, and they will when they grow this summer to a third location at Silo Square in South Haven, now in Overton Square and in Regalia. The very best quality available in town. It's at Bellyacres. Burgers, shakes, always smiles at Bellyacres.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't say this before we got to the break. Rest in peace to Bob Lanier. Bob Lanier, of course, passed at 73 today, Hall of Famer, 8-time All-Star, global ambassador for the NBA for years. And you go look at his career, obviously fantastic. Number 1 overall pick out of St. Bonaventure in 1970, 20
Took
points,
him to the Final Four.
10 rebounds for the Bucks and the Pistons. But when you look at what he did throughout his career, humanitarian, won awards for community outreach, just a grade A human being by all accounts.
I think Bob Lanier was honored here with the Pitt Hyde Family Legacy Award around the National Civil Rights game honoring Dr. Martin Luther King. I think he was honored here and gave around town. Old timers like me, this would be a good way back Wednesday question. We had a sporting goods store that was, I think it was out summer. Help me out, people. And I remember going to it. It was called All American Sporting Goods Store, and we would go out there, and they had on display the shoe, a Converse shoe of Bob Lanier for his size, 22 foot. And I mean,
it's funny because I was reading a story about how they say he wore 18 and a half, but the 22 was based on something else, based on another measurement in another country. I was reading something about that this morning.
I can promise you, it was a 22 at All-American Sporting
feet.
Goods.
18 and a half to 22, those are still big-ass feet, let's be real.
It was huge.
I mean, that is what it is. But, yeah, Bob Lanier passes at 73 today.
He was a great player for the Pistons.
Mm-hmm. Very, very good. Now let's go ahead and get to our first break of the day. When we come back, Alex Kuhn joins us from KGYM Radio in Cedar Rapids.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey Mid-South, this month buying a car is as easy as one and done. Call in here from DeSoto Auto Sales. Just visit one dealership, put just $1 down, and you're done. You could drive a nicer, newer car today. Even if buying a car has been hard in the past, we've got the one and done solution for every situation. Still owe on your current lease or loan? One and done. Payments too high? One and done. Nervous about past credit mishaps? One and done. Because my For the People credit approval process is the one to get it done. It's that easy. So ditch your old ride and drive a nicer, newer car for just $1 down. Only at my one and done sale. I'm Colin, and I'm your dealer for the people. See all the cars online at DeSotoAutosales.com. That's DeSotoAutosales.com.
Credit and $1 down require bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Offer absolutely expires on May 31st, 2022.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. When was the last time you had your heating system cleaned? How about a safety inspection? Right now, Conway Service is offering our 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up on your heating system for only $69. That's right, for only $69, we'll come out and perform our 16-point energy-saving super tune-up on your heating system. We'll also include a complete safety inspection using our state-of-the-art camera system, making sure your heating system is safe to operate this winter. Plus, we'll run a carbon monoxide test on your heating system, all for only $69. You can have the peace of mind knowing your heating system is safe and ready for those cold winter nights. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. That's 384-3511. Call this week, and we'll perform your heating system tune-up for only $57.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
If you want to make money in sales, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. If you can sell, Flynn Broadcasting has a great career waiting for you. If you can sell, we have great benefits, salary, commissions, sales leads, and a great place to work. Can everyone sell? No. But if you can, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. Apply today at jobs@flinn.com. Start your career today at jobs@flynn.com. Flynn Broadcasting wants you.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis.
Open the door, sit in the seat, turn the key, and go.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brent Norsworthy.
Now, I got to say, today is certainly the first day of the year where I get my flashbacks of summer conditioning at the University of Memphis. That humidity, the heat.
Great memories, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, fantastic.
A lot of talcum powder today necessary.
Put down the window today in that breeze. You know how the breeze is just the worst.
It hits you in the face.
Oh, it's awful. It's not a breeze. It's not refreshing in any way, shape, or form. I had my little flashback. Sent my prayers out on Twitter to all the student athletes that are about to start summer conditioning in the South. My gosh.
Yeah.
Good Lord. But we're back on Sports Time on Sports 56 with Gabe and Stats, and it's time to bring in Alex Kuhn at AlexKuhn523 on Twitter from KGYM Radio in Cedar Rapids. Alex, what's happening, man?
Hey, Alex.
Not a whole lot, Gabe. You going to go do a Colorado circuit?
How about no? Well, see, Colorado circuit, that's winter conditioning. That was a Fuente thing. That was a winter conditioning. But Cutchlow, good old Rourke Cutchlow. He knew how to work us over in the summer. Same with Josh Storms over at Florida State. Shout out to both those guys. Made me the man I am today. You know how that goes. But Alex, Blues and 6? What are we saying? Blues and 6? Is that fair?
Quiet confidence.
I've been calling it the whole time though. Blues and 6, right?
I'm going tomorrow night, Alex.
Yeah, Brett will be a little cranky on Friday when he gets on the show because he's going to have a late night.
Oh, so you're going to the game?
I am. I'm in St. Louis.
Guess who else is going, by the way? Alex.
Oh, good.
Y'all might have to meet up.
Text me.
I would love to. Well, I don't drink. I'll have to get a Coca-Cola, but I'll buy you a beer. But I'm looking forward to it. I've never been to Stanley Cup playoffs, and that'll be the last one. I've been to NFL, been to Super Bowls, been to baseball, been to World Series, been to NBA playoffs, never been to NBA finals. But I'm looking forward to it, and tomorrow night the Blues can advance.
Yes, and it's during the weekday, so I won't be drinking either. So we'll get some tacos, some Mission Taco up in
there you go
in the upper deck. We'll have to do that.
Where the real people sit.
During the playoffs, those are There's no such thing as a cheap ticket.
That fellow for the Wild, Kirill Kaprizov's a freak, though, Alex. I was watching the game last night. He's scary good.
He's pretty good, isn't he?
He is just scary good. All right, into the NFL. I have to start here. What's your reaction to Tom Brady and what was announced yesterday? 10 years, $375 million to be the lead game analyst for Fox Sports.
Why is he still playing?
Start now.
Right.
Yeah, why didn't he start 5 years ago? At what point do you win enough Super Bowls and you're happy enough with your career? At what point did we know he was the greatest quarterback of all time? It seems like
forever.
a good decade ago, and he's gonna make more money in salary in the next 10 years than he did in 20 years in the NFL. Now, of course, his endorsement deals are worth more, but that's not going to change. That is an obscene amount of money for somebody to talk about football for 17, 18 weeks a year.
But Alex, the market wasn't set at this rate 5 years ago. It took Tony Romo to recalibrate the market. Now it's going up for all of them. And by the time he starts on Fox, there could be somebody out there making more.
If there's somebody that gets more, well, here's the deal. I don't know if there will ever be anybody, I'm not going to say ever, but it's going to be hard to find a name in any sport more coveted than Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. We knew that once his NFL career ended, someone was going to pay him a ton of money
to do whatever it was.
Football.
Yeah.
Now, $375 million, as you said, Brett. The market had to be set. I mean, we knew he was going to make more than Tony Romo, but no, it's Tom Brady, and he will get to do whatever he wants to do, and he's a name that's going to hold weight in that sport, sort of like Michael Jordan did post his playing career. So, and even more so, quite honestly. So it's just hard to wrap your mind.
Yeah, money.
Freudian slip. It's hard to wrap your mind around somebody getting paid that much money to talk about the sport.
Can I ask the quiet question that no one wants to ask right this second? What if he's not that good? I know he's got the knowledge. I understand he has the knowledge, but until recently, and I think it's been sort of helped by his social media presence, his social media team on TikTok and on Instagram. But he's never been to the media or outwardly Mr. Warmth and personality. You even go to his podcast with Jim Gray. It's not
pretty milquetoast.
It's not all that out there. It's not Tony Romo-esque, is what I will say.
Yeah, but he ain't Dan Orlovsky. Dan Orlovsky's really good, but he can't fetch that kind of price.
Yeah, look, I think it's important, first of all, to understand that there are levels to how good you are as an announcer. Not everybody can jump in and be as good as Tony Romo was right away. Some guys get in there and they don't have it at all.
Have to learn.
Jason Witten comes to mind. But I'm saying some guys get in there, they don't have it, and there just doesn't seem to be like a feeling that they're going to get a whole lot better, right?
Emmitt Smith wasn't very good.
Who's that?
Emmitt Smith wasn't very good.
Correct. And I mean, do we put Drew Brees in that category as well?
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know. But there's that idea that they're not great, and there just doesn't seem to be a whole lot of upside for them. Then there are guys that get in there and are not that great at the beginning, but learn and get better. Like they have that desire. And perfect example of this, I know you'll appreciate this one, Brett, Jim Edmonds. Jim Edmonds was not a very good color commentator when he first started for the Cardinals. And I remember people running into him downtown after games, and he would talk to people. He's like, gosh, it's so hard. It's I thought it was going to be easy, and it's a lot to learn, and you're trying to get the best feedback that you can, and you could tell that he wanted to get better. And then there are guys that are just really good right away. So I don't know where Tom Brady is going to fall on this spectrum. I have an idea that it will be somewhere in the he's going to have some learning to do, and he's going to have to get better.
Yeah, but he is,
and that's a lot for $400 million.
Yeah, and I thought about this. He is one of the very few, and I know they've tried to sort of do a whole lot of different things this offseason. ESPN goes and gets Troy Aikman, Joe Buck, Amazon, Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit. They're trying to do these things to get more eyes and more ears on the broadcast. I think Tom Brady, his first game, like people actually will go to his broadcast to listen to him. Now, I think as time and with anything, as time goes on, they will sort of slow down and they'll start to realize, okay, this is normal now. Tom Brady's going to be announcing these games every week, but those first 2 weeks, I guarantee he brings people to the TV.
My question is he going to have a Tony Romo aspect to him? Meaning, here's a guy who is hailed as a football savant. He is not hailed as, he is a football savant. He knows things about the game. He can see things prior to the snap of a football that most other people on the planet just do not see. And when Tony Romo was kind of making his name as a broadcaster, how many times would he call out exactly the play that Tom Brady was going to run, right? I mean, I think back to the Chiefs and the Patriots and the AFC Championship, and what was that, 2018, 2019?
That's where he made it.
Where Tom. That's exactly where it happened. It was like, oh, yep, two high safeties. I think that they're going to throw a slant to Gronk. So I just want to see if Tom Brady lets it all. Kind of lets his personality show and also lets his expertise show, because that's what he's getting paid $375 million to do, and that's something that pretty much nobody else can bring at that level. He knows the game better than most people on the planet.
Yeah, and with this gravitas, with this bigness in these rights fees, whether it's standard, traditional network, or it's Amazon, or whatever it's going to be, or the return to Monday Night Football on ABC some, when you're going to pay this kind of rights fees, you need to roll out a big star. I mean, you can't roll out these kind of rights fees and run Sean McDonough out there, who's a really good college announcer, but I don't think he fared so well in the Monday Night Football booth with John Gruden. As it turned out, John Gruden was a great analyst because Mike Tirico, I thought, was the greatest setup guy ever for John Gruden. I thought it ended up Tirico made that duo, not Gruden, and while we were watching it, we thought it was Gruden.
Yeah, that's a good point, Brett, because I thought Gruden was pretty good in the booth. I never thought he was great. I thought he was very solid, but yeah, like Mike Tirico he's one of the, right as it stands, one of the top 5 or 10 broadcasters in the country right now.
You could read the Edwardsville, Illinois phone book and make it interesting.
Please don't, Mike, if you're listening out there. But yeah, to see the lineups are the stakes are raised, and I think yes, ESPN found out last year that you can't just throw anybody out there on Monday Night Football and expect that people are going to respond to it. And Sean McDonough, great announcer, but just like you've got to have one of the top guys or in the business, or as you said, the amount of money involved in this is super high. Clearly,
it's ridiculous,
based on a color commentator getting almost $400
million.
And
just a side note with that ESPN broadcast last year, I wanted it to work out for Louis Riddick. I think Louis Riddick is one of the better analysts that we have in this day and age. But it's just they had Greasy alongside of him. Steve Levy it's just, and they had the Mannings,
and missed
the Mannings running right beside it. It was just, they didn't really set themselves up to be very successful last year.
What do you think about the Mannings?
It's cool. I like what they have going on.
Good.
It's fine.
I do too.
I'm going to watch Joe Buck and Troy Aikman at least.
Oh yeah, I'll say that much. Now that it's, and maybe it depends on the interviews they have with the Manning cast. That would drag me over if they have good interviews. But other than that, I think I'll stick to the normal broadcast.
I agree. It just wasn't I saw a little bit of it, but it wasn't enough for it to pull me away from the regular broadcast.
Mm-hmm. Our guest, Alex Kuhn, at AlexKuhn523 from KGYM Radio in Cedar Rapids. His show runs 4 to 6 with Todd Brommelkamp. Last thing for you, as far as on the NIL transfer portal front, I thought Mike Bray, the basketball coach at Notre Dame, put it very interestingly. I want your thoughts on this. All he said was shut up and adjust. Stop the complaining, quit the belly aching, and adjust. Do you think that's as fair? Do you think that's fair?
Well, it's really your only choice at this point, and I don't know how. I don't pretend to know how this is all going to play out, but I think of Fran McCaffrey at Iowa right now, who is kind of fighting an uphill battle. There's no name, image, and likeness collective at Iowa. He's trying to go out on the transfer portal and do the best that he can, and he's trying to recruit players. And because there's no name, image, and likeness collective, it's tough. And he's been somebody who doesn't exactly like the fact that the transfer portal is open season and that things are changing so rapidly in college sports, but it doesn't do you much good to sit and complain. And especially for somebody like Dabo Swinney at Clemson, who has every advantage to adjust, every chance to adjust, but no, you just kind of hear complaining. The problem is I don't see where the toothpaste gets put back in the tube anytime soon, or how much, if there's toothpaste put back in the tube, how much? How many guardrails are going to be
and
out
Alex,
there?
Who's going to lead the thing?
Tampering?
Who's going to lead the thing to actually set guardrails? Who's actually leading the charge right this second? It's a weird
it would
time.
Have to be. It's basically the NCAA saying, "Oh, we're going to put in rules in place to make schools get a hold on their boosters." Well, that's okay. How?
Yeah.
What's your plan?
Yeah, and the whole tampering thing's lost too.
And then there's the idea of going to Congress, which we've talked about. So, yeah, I don't know. As we said, complaining doesn't do much good in this situation.
Yeah, for sure. But he is Alex Kuhn at AlexKuhn523, KGYM Radio in Cedar Rapids. His show starts at 4. Make sure you tune in. Alex, appreciate it.
Yep. Talk to you guys.
Thank you, Alex. Alex Kuhn with us every week, talking a variety of subjects. Brett Northworthy here for FanDuel. One of the many things I love about betting my favorite sports is I'm always finding new player props or game props that I just love. And what's so cool about FanDuel Sportsbook is you can combine those prop bets from multiple games and now even multiple sports. It's called Same Game Parlay Plus, and you can only find them on FanDuel. Combine NBA player props you love with your favorite baseball home run hitters for a chance to score an even bigger payout. Tonight, Jaren Jackson over in the point total, Grizzlies plus the points, and go to baseball. Stay on Aaron Judge to go with a big home run. If you don't want to build your own same-game parlay, check out their popular same-game parlay section where you can join the bets others are jumping in on. And if you're new to FanDuel, sign up with promo code CASH to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. That's promo code CASH. Make every moment more and download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Use promo code CASH so they know I sent you. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800 889-9789.
We go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we switch gears. We have some Major League Baseball to discuss. Last night was just a wacky night. All that when we return on Sports 56 98.5.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Golfers, tee it up this year at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the hottest new arrivals from Callaway. Featuring the new Rogue ST drivers, Callaway's most stable driver ever, with tungsten speed cartridge, jailbreak speed frame, and AI flash face. Engineered for max speed and forgiveness. 4 different models to fit every golfer's needs. Think speed? Go Rogue. Swing by Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit for the new Rogue ST drivers today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Look, I know you're hungry for amazing fajitas, and Los Cabos has got them. Los Cabos Bar and Grill with their giant baked potato fajita. It's stuffed with either chicken or steak and smothered with cheese. Or try Los Cabos classic steak fajita burrito. And if you're in need of the largest selection of premium tequilas in Memphis, then Los Cabos is your destination. You got happy hour 2 to 8 daily. And if you need a place to watch any game or just have a date night, then get yourself to one of Los Cabos locations. 6600 Stage Road, 2037 Exeter Road, 6542 Quince, and coming soon to South Haven at 3964 Goodman Road.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
If you have damage to your home and have your insurance carrier involved, you need a great contractor. You also need a team that has seen claims of all shapes and sizes, residential or commercial. After our inspection, we'll share our findings and give you our professional opinion. Some people say you get what you pay for. However, our opinion is free. Trust the name you can depend on, like the tens of thousands of families Brian and I have served over the past 20 years here in the Mid-South. Brian Elder Roofing. We'll measure your roof from outer space and share our team's experience for your property and claim. Repaired roofs, replacement roofs, big roofs, tiny roofs, insurance roofs, flat roofs, TPO roofs, asphalt roofs, tile roofs, slate roofs, metal roofs. If your roof needs some love, call me. 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing and Contracting.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
New message.
What up? It's Heather's cousin. You dated her in college, or maybe you were just in the same class. Anyway, I heard you bought a boat, my man. Let's hit the water. Oh, and Heather told me you always liked, snacks and stuff, so I could totally bring some chips.
When you get a boat, you also get new friends. Make sure Progressive's one of them, and get coverage today for as little as $100 a year.
Hey, also, I'm a little short on cash, so can you cover the chips? Thanks. I can see why Heather liked you.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Annual premium for basic liability policy not available in all states.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles, ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis.
Let me tell you what Melvin Toast is packing right here, all right?
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Get it? Text a message, I don't know the number. Flexing on these niggas, every bone and muscle. Steady taking shots, never hurting them. Even then, y'all don't worry nothing. And I like to give a shout out to my...
Welcome back in. Sports Time on Sports 56. Gabe Kuhn, Brett Stats Norsworthy with you. I'm Gabe, he's Stats. Last night in the MLB, just all over the place. Obviously, Brett, you got to see an inside the park home run from Harrison Bader.
Fun.
First at home for the Cardinals.
He almost caught Yachty.
Since 1985, you knew he was.
He was right up Yachty's tailpipe.
Yachty was struggling too.
Yeah.
Yachty
struggled to get into second on that double.
Yeah. He's never been able to run, but I mean, we're
like a catcher.
We're a while into his career now. It's going to be harder for him.
The late great Yogi Berra, Lawrence Peter Berra from the Hill in St. Louis, had a good line. You know, he was on the beaches at D-Day, part of the the force that landed that day, and he said that was one day that he didn't run like a catcher because he was running for his life.
Yeah, I hear that. Real quick before we get into what was last night, Guardians manager Terry Francona tests positive for COVID-19, but is showing no symptoms. He has had health issues, so they're being very careful with him. But the White Sox game versus the Guardians has been postponed today due to multiple COVID tests in the Guardians organization and contact tracing, which I thought at this point in time we were over.
No, we're not. We're still doing it.
I'm clearly mistaken, but
and Gabe,
damn.
Here's one. I can't prove this, but let's just a baseball team, 25, 30, 40 people in a clubhouse, and you're having all these positives out of Cleveland. Well, we know we got a positive with the Golden State Warriors with their head coach, don't we?
Yep.
I guarantee you lined up all the Warriors players, there's 5 or 6 positives in there, but they're not testing.
Yeah, somebody's got it, I would imagine.
Guarantee it. And same for the Grizzlies. Probably in our building, if you lined up everybody, there's 4 or 5 positives.
Nowadays, it's showing up as sniffles. It's showing up as a common cold. That's what it's showing up as. Seasonal allergies.
I got back to my room last night and had to get some tissue, blow my nose. Well, guess what? Been in a car all day with the air conditioner blowing right in my face. Then I was out in 90-degree heat last night. And then the ever-changing temperature of a hotel. We will land a person on Mars before we can get a temperature in a hotel room to get there and stay comfortable all night long. And the time of year we're in. So, of course, a lot of people have those symptoms, but that doesn't mean you have the Great Plague.
I've told you since you brought it up, little sidebar. I've told you my take on hotel ACs, right? Crank down to the bottom for me, no matter what. Crank down to 65.
All the way down.
Absolute zero for me.
Here's my theory, though. I think somewhere at central control, it may say 65, 63, 62 on your temperature, but they're not letting you get it all the way down. They're controlling your cost.
Whatever I can get it down to, I'm getting.
You take it all the way down.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I run warm, Brett. You know this. This. Now, last night in Major League Baseball, first of all, Angels are really good. That's a really good baseball team.
Well, they have a really good manager, and tell me why the Cubs fired that man.
And they lead the MLB in home runs. There was one close to no-hit bid. That was for Justin Verlander. For the 8th time in his career, he took a no-hit bid into the 8th inning. Astros get the 5-0 win, but obviously that wasn't the no-hitter. The no-hitter came in.
He wins every day, though.
Yeah, but he's 39. Justin
Still married to Kate Upton, right?
Yeah. I haven't seen a picture of her in a while. I haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Still
okay.
W.
I got you. I hear you. But he's 39 years old still doing that. But in the Angels game, a 22-year-old, Reed Detmers.
Good for him.
9 innings, no hits, throws a no-hitter, only 2 strikeouts, which is more impressive in my opinion. And the funny thing is,
he doesn't throw a lot of strikeouts.
What was funny to me is just watching and looking at some of the highlights and what happened in the game. By no means was he mowing down the Rays. In any stretch, they were squaring him up. There were some hard hit balls in that game.
He's a fly ball pitcher for sure.
Yeah, bunch of fly balls.
Let your defense work. And for the Angels, Mike Trout, will this be the postseason? Will this be the October? We really get to see him on display in his career. 12 postseason at bats. One hit, and that was a home run.
They're looking like a playoff team. That's the truth of it. They look good. They hit with power.
3 big pieces.
They've pitched really well this year. Obviously, Reed Detmers is part of that as well. But
great manager.
They're starting to look like what they should have been looking like for all these years with Mike Trout on their team. Also, did you hear Reed Detmers after the game?
I didn't.
He is not an overly well-spoken guy, to be honest with you.
Oh, really?
Oh, he's getting super bro vibes. He's 22 years old, super bro. I mean, as bro as you could imagine.
Shell necklace?
Just about throwing up the pinky and the thumb,
That's
the
great.
Whole 9 yards.
Would be 22.
Also within that game, Anthony Rendon, who a good hitter from the right-handed side.
That's one of the 3 big pieces with Ohtani and Trout.
And he was not all that great in his first year with them last year.
No.
And he's been better this year so far. But he goes to the left side of the plate because Brett Phillips, the Rays outfielder, was pitching, goes to the left side of the plate. And in his first left-handed at-bat ever, hits a home run off
Baseball.
Brett Phillips. Just a weird night.
Crazy Nugget night.
Yes.
And I felt it coming. As soon as the ball got kind of knocked around, I thought Bader could pull it off, and that was fun to see.
Bader's fast. Bader's fast. He needs to. He's got some long hair going. When was the last time he cut that lettuce?
He was a crew cut guy at Florida in college.
Yeah, he hadn't cut it in a while. Now, before we get to hour number 2, I have to tell you about one place that Memphis has been missing for a while, and that place is Bell Tavern. It has been closed down for a minute because of the pandemic and everything else, but it is reopening soon, and Memphis will be a better place because of it. People have been pent up for a while, but it's time to get back out. You know about 117 Prime on Union. I talk about them. I'll tell you about them tomorrow, and it's a great place to eat, 117 Prime. But all you do to get to Bell Tavern is walk through the dining room at 117 Prime, and you access the best bar, single-handedly the best bar in Memphis. It's the perfect place to start your night with a gourmet bite to eat, burgers, sandwiches, and starters, and end your night with the coldest beer in town and craft cocktails that you can only find in Barbaro Alley, tucked in between 2nd and Main. It is Bell Tavern. Now, plenty to come up on the show. Hour number 1 is in the books. We have golf talk and picks coming up next, NBA playoff discussion way back Wednesday, and Kyrie notes. Stay with us.
It's time to vacation at home with Family Leisure. That's right. Enjoy a vacation in your own backyard with a little help from Family Leisure. Like play gyms and trampolines, they're now $500 off. And those trampolines, by the way, they've got that mesh on the side, so trampolines are now safe and you'll be the hit of the neighborhood. They've got hot tubs in stock and ready to go, and you can get up to $1,000 off when you pick them up. All kinds of do-it-yourself pool specials, like savings of up to $1,500 on all in-stock pools when you pick it up and install them yourself. And if you're looking for patio furniture, then stop on in, because they have tons in stock and they're ready for you to pick up. So get ready for that vacation at home with the help from Family Leisure. Family Leisure's Vacation at Home sale. It's happening right now at Witten Road and I-40, where family and fun truly do come together.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Can anyone explain to me why anyone would care how I measure your roof? We've all heard about measuring your roof from outer space. Well, to be honest, that's not possible. There are aerial pictures that can be taken every 4 years that can be used to measure most buildings, but it's not from outer space. Besides, no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what's wrong with your roof, or even if you need one, looking at pictures that could be 4 years old. If you'd rather do business with a family-owned and operated business with a lifelong tie to Memphis that refuses to mislead or use gimmicks, give us a call. Best products, best warranties, and the best service we know how to give. Fiveash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Have you been looking for a cigar lounge that's laid back and offers style and a full bar and a great selection of cigars? Now let me tell you about the G-Spot Cigar Lounge, Memphis's premier cigar lounge, offering a wide selection of cigars, open 7 days a week starting at 12 noon for your smoking pleasure. Come kick back, enjoy a beer or a cocktail and a cigar while watching sports on one of their several TVs. G-Spot Cigar Lounge on Instagram and Facebook at the G-Spot Memphis, located at 6135 Mount Moriah Road, Suite 116.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
Oh, nothing but the best.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Hour 2 is here on Sports Time on Sports 56. Gabe Kuhn, Brett Stats Norsworthy with you. I'm Gabe, he's Stats. Of course, Brian Dacus producing the program. AutoZone listener line is open for your texting pleasure, 901-360-8255. Let us know questions, comments, concerns about the Grizzlies and otherwise. Let us know how you feel. Also, message us on our socials, Sports 56 WHBQ, on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Go to our website as well for featured audio and every hour of the podcast, sports56WHBQ.com. I was actually, before we get into golf talk and our picks, as we normally do at this time on a Wednesday, I was watching Outside the Lines this morning about Eric Reed, who, of course, is the trainer of Rich Strike, who won the Kentucky Derby. I just learned, and this is a crazy, crazy fact. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. He lost 23 horses in 2016 to a barn fire. And he had no idea that he was going to get back to this point or even get back into the racing game. But 23 horses lost in 2016 to a barn fire, and he gets back to this point and second longest odds ever to win a Kentucky Derby. It's unreal.
Gabe, it will build next week, and we'll have Dick Girardi with us on the Friday of the Preakness. That's a week from this weekend, isn't it? It's the same weekend as the PGA Championship, isn't it? The Preakness?
Not a clue. I don't know.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think so, and it will build with this upset, underdog, darling. I mean, I don't want to get too waxy about it, but kind of every man's horse. Only Bob Baffert can speak horse for us and interpret what they're saying and thinking. I love it when he does, when he quotes what the horse is saying. How does he know? The horse can't talk, but it is developed into a fun story, and you're hearing and you're seeing people like with an upset or a wild back of the pack pick who's going to pull the Rich Strike.
Right.
I mean, if it went on and won the Triple Crown,
oh gosh,
would it change some sports terminology?
Movie. There's probably a movie. There's probably a movie
get
about
ready
it.
For it.
Come on, and you add to sort of the devastation that his trainer has been through.
Sure,
Eric Reed.
The human interest side of that.
Yeah, I mean it's one of the biggest stories in sports we've seen in a while. If Rich Strike wins the Triple Crown.
I mean, I guarantee you next week at the PGA, some golf writer would and should write the story. Who is the Rich Strike of this weekend? Mm-hmm. Who can win it? And the PGA Championship has historically been one of those back of the pack type tournaments for somebody to win and emerge as getting theirs. Look, Sean McKeel is a great golfer. Had a great career after winning the 2003 PGA Championship at Oak Hill, but that was his big time in the sunshine. Rich Beam did it way back Jeff Sluman did it way, way, way back. I mean, one of the names of all time. If you think Packy Naughton had a name way back in PGA Championship lore when Dow Finsterwall won it.
Dow Finsterwall. There you go.
And the PGA's kind of been the proving ground for some of that. Y.E. Yang in one of the upsets of all time when he beat Tiger Woods and then inexplicably started bench pressing his bag in exuberance of victory.
Well, here's my question. Now that we're bringing up the PGA Championship, a back-to-back winner, Brooks Koepka, 2018-2019, correct?
I have that correct. 18. Yeah.
He's withdrawn from the Byron Nelson this week. Is he going to be able to participate? I know he's had knee issues and everything else. This is interesting to say the least.
Sure is.
To pull out like this last second, certainly something went wrong that he's not, and he has not talked to reporters, hadn't talked to the press at all.
Well, he gives nobody anything, but we know a lot of knee issues and that torque. You eventually, the Piper's got to get paid for that violent swing that he's had.
I am not saying that I thought we put the whole knee issue in the past. A lot of these things are going to linger, but that was, at this point, we're venturing into 10 months to a year ago where he was really having those issues.
Yeah, but are you really ever over knee issues, Dave?
You learn how to deal with them. You learn how to deal with them, and they can keep lingering on you and coming back. But I am very curious if Brooks Koepka actually participates.
Next week at Tulsa will be fun. I'm warming up to the May PGA Championship. It's taken a little bit for me. I really loved it in August and gave out. I've said it a million times over these airwaves. One of my favorite weeks of radio ever was spending Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Belle Reve at the 2018 PGA Championship in St. Louis. And I was in St. Louis in '92 when it hosted the PGA when Nick Price won.
I went to Belle Reve once. I think it was a senior tour event though, if I'm not mistaken.
May have been.
Probably so.
Maybe
like 2007, 2008.
That's where the golf world was assembled the week of 9/11. It was going to host one of the Tour Championship playoff events that year, and that's where the golf world was on that sad Tuesday morning. But we normally visit with our friend John Goen, and he couldn't join us today because he had a great opportunity.
You have his picks,
play.
I assume. You have his picks.
I do have his picks. He had a chance today to play in an event with Scott Verplank, I think a former U.S. amateur champion, and I know he did this. If he didn't win the U.S. Am, I know he did this as amateur. He won a PGA Tour event as an amateur, won the Western Open at Butler National in Chicago, and didn't get the check because that would have violated his amateur status. So the runner-up gets the check, and the runner-up was Jim Thorpe, a guy that hit the ball 9 miles. And when I first started going to the Danny Thomas Memphis Classic, our tour stop, now the FedEx St. Jude Classic, to go out to Colonial to see them on the driving range, Jim Thorpe was the guy that could bomb it past anybody. And, the ball was different. The clubs were different. Gabe, he was hitting it about 265, 275 max. And we thought that was off the moon.
Well, yeah, we've come a long way. We've come a long way from then. I mean, if you don't hit 300, 320 on the tour nowadays, you're not competing.
Average driving length, I would say around is around 305. Yeah, you got to really stretch it out there. This week the tour is in Dallas at the Byron Nelson. It used to be back-to-back weeks at the Byron Nelson, and then they would go over to Ben Hogan's tournament at Colonial Country Club in Fort Worth. But next week they'll go to Southern Hills, and then they'll go to Fort Worth. John Goen usually with us, but I want to tell everybody, if you're looking for a great place to play golf over the next few days, you can do it at Timber Trust Golf. Go to timbertrustgolf.com, book a tee time, great rates, fun events. They have the TrackMan inside. They've got John and many others to give you lessons. Fun, great times being had by one and all down at Timber Trust. I can attest, was down there a lot 2 years ago, working on the weekends, being around John and Christine, and wanted to be out and about, was tired of being at home. It was so much fun. Give them a call at 662-895-3530, 662-895-3530, or go to timbertrustgolf.com. Bryant, you're up first with the picks.
Scotty Scheffler.
Oh,
that
my
was
gosh.
easy.
You're just taking the shortest odds every week, huh?
I'm just taking who my guy tells me to take.
I'm glad no music.
You
in
have
the
a guy,
background.
huh?
I'm
You got a guy on picks,
Who's your
bro?
guy?
I do. I can't tell you who my guy is.
Can you disclose it?
I cannot.
If you vault to number one,
Brett,
we'll put him on there.
I think
we can put him on the air. We can put him on the air whenever you want.
I think
he just can't reveal his identity.
he doesn't have a guy.
No, I have a guy, 100%. I'll show you. Look, you can look through the glass, and you can see that he sent me his the picks I should make.
Yeah, and he made sure to block out the name.
I did.
There you go. There you
Very
go.
good.
And I got to say, it's a step in the right direction. We didn't have music behind his picks this week.
Well, John's not here, so I didn't want
He
to
had
bring
to
out
put
the
on- He had
theatrics.
to put on for John.
Yeah.
You know, next week, very good naturally, because we love John, and he's the sponsor of the segment and a great guy. But it's just awfully coincidental. John couldn't be with us today, and he loves to pick at everybody else when they post the bagel, and John had the big double goose egg last week, lock and shock. Have y'all thought that was coincidental or not?
He knew what was happening. He knew what was happening.
All right, I'm second with a pick, and I go with, and boy, he always aggravates me when I take him, but I take Xander Schauffele.
There you go. And you have John's pick?
I do have John, and he takes Will Zalatoris.
Oh, no. Come on. John's not here, and he's poaching picks from me. What's going on
I'm
here?
sorry to do you that way.
Good Lord. What am I going to do now? I don't even know who to pick. So who's off the board? Xander, Scotty, and Will Zalatoris, correct?
Correct.
Let's
Big week for you too, Gabe.
You know
Yeah,
what?
It's huge week, Gabe. Maybe you should pick Tiger Woods. That's one that I've seen a lot of people take.
Be like that.
Oh, what if I said Brooks? What if I said Brooks Koepka?
Yo.
Y'all would not have
Love
corrected
Brooks
me.
Koepka.
Y'all would have never corrected
No.
me. Y'all would have just
Yo,
let
I
me have
would too.
Brooks.
I
I would
wouldn't
not
let you
have.
Give me Dustin. Give me Dustin Johnson.
Why not? Why not? All right, back to the top to Bryant with the shocks.
Let's go Sepp Straka.
Nice.
Did your guy give you that one too?
He did.
There you go, Sepp.
Sepp
I need to know who
Straka.
this guy is giving him bad picks. He's
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I do too. Give me former Masters champ, our Masters champ, Danny Willett.
Mm-hmm.
And John takes Lanto Griffin.
All right. I'm going with number 41 in the world, and I've taken him already as one of my shocks this year. Give me the man, Seamus. Give me Seamus Power.
You had him at Augusta, no less.
Yep.
Seamus Power. So Scheffler, Straka for Bryant, Schauffele, Willett for me, Zalatoris, Griffin for John, and Dustin Johnson and Seamus Power for Gabe. Again, if you want to book a tee time at Timber Trust Golf, you can at 662-895-3530 or go online at timbertrustgolf.com. Next week will be the PGA Championship at Southern Hills in Tulsa. It won't be as hot as it was a lot of times when they would host U.S. Opens in June and PGAs in August. And I was there on a Saturday in 1982 when Raymond Floyd won it, and it was blistering hot. And on the Sunday in 07 when Tiger won, it was so hot you couldn't touch like the lawn furniture, the lawn chairs.
Right. But I talked about it. That's what we're getting to right now. Today in Memphis is a burner. It is an absolute burner. Now, we've talked about it the past 2 weeks with John when John's been on the show, and we've discussed it at length. But the PGA Tour officially put out their memo yesterday. They will not allow release for the first event in the Saudi-backed Live Golf Invitational Series from June 9th to 11th in London. And this was what they said. This was the release. We have notified those who have applied that their request has been declined in accordance with the PGA Tour tournament regulations. As such, tour members are not authorized to participate in the Saudi Golf League's London event under our regulations. As a membership organization, we believe this decision is in the best interest of the PGA Tour and its players. Not a surprise by any stretch of the imagination, but it just adds to the back and forth we've seen with a lot of these guys. And you wonder who, and obviously Greg Norman has said 15 of the top 100 players have applied to play in the Live Golf Invitational Series. You wonder who will jump ship and actually go take place and participate in London.
I think it'll be more of the international type player. Sergio signaled his move last week. Lee Westwood's name has been mentioned. Yep. I think it'll be more of that. who will be the most prominent American star to do it? That'll be something worth watching. But the tour's playing hardball.
What do you think
I don't
about
blame
Phil?
them.
What do you think about Phil? After all of this going and Phil's age, I sort of wonder in
Phil
his
may need
mind.
cash.
I sort of wonder. Yeah, true. I sort of wonder in his mind, does he feel like he has much to lose at this age, jumping over and playing in London?
You know, it's a little bit like, and I'm going to have an ABA question when we get to Way Back Wednesday as well today. It was a little bit like when the USFL and the ABA and the WFL, kind of the renegade leagues when they came along, and they would sign an older star for way too much money, like in Memphis we did with the WFL with Larry Zonka, Jim Kick, and Paul Warfield. They were good, but I don't think they could have commanded that kind of money from the NFL. Well, they couldn't have, or they would have gotten it and they would have stayed and were signing those kind of players. And a lot of times some of those guys needed the money. Well, if this stuff with Phil Mickelson is close to true, he may need cash flow.
I get the whole sports washing thing, and a lot of people try to do that with sports. You try to, hey, look at this shiny object, look at all these sports we're doing, look at all these big names we have in town, and you have the human rights violations behind. You're trying to hide those things. I get the whole aspect with the Saudi-backed league and what people are saying about that. I just wonder, Brett, and this has been my question this entire time, if Phil doesn't outwardly say what he said, is the outrage and the story quite as big?
It's nothing.
That's
if he doesn't use some of
that's
that
the lean I have
vile
as well.
language, the Saudis are some bad blankety blank blanks, and then he dismissed it with, but there's a lot of bad going on. Gabe, you're going to see the closer the big report earlier in the week, the big report about the NBA to play games in the United Arab Emirates in Abu Dhabi. You're going to see blowback for the NBA as they get closer to that on their issues with LGBTQ and gay rights there.
Why does it have to be, once something gets said out loud, the outrage comes? Once something is said by someone involved in one of these leagues. But when you look around with our country even, you look at our country, you look at all of the sports entities around the world, they do business constantly with countries and people that are guilty of human rights violations. So it's just, it's bizarre.
Well, we just celebrated the Olympics in Beijing.
Right. I know. It's
and as soon as the Olympic cauldron was unlit, as soon as it was put out, look how the world changed.
It's just, it's uncomfortable to me. Something has to be said. Something has to be outwardly sort of uttered for people to really turn their attention toward it.
It is. Brett Norsworthy here for FanDuel, and the NBA playoffs, they are heating up, and you can make every game feel like Game 7. It won't be Game 7. It'll be Game 6s when the Heat play the 76ers and the Suns play the Mavericks. But FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA throughout the playoffs, all customers can place a no-sweat same-game parlay each week. You'll get up to $20 in free bets if you don't win. FanDuel, with so many ways to play, so many ways to win, and best of all, when you win, you'll get paid faster than a fast break. If you're new to FanDuel, download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code CASH to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Once again, that's promo code CASH. And tomorrow night, ride those home teams and ride the dogs. Take the 76ers. They're favored -2, and take Dallas at home plus the 2. If you already have an account, you're all set to bet, no sweat. Either way, you'll get up to $20 in free bets if your same game parlay during the playoff if it doesn't win. FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA, must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets. They expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet, $20 per week. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
We have to go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, Steph Curry today talking to Kendra Andrews and ESPN. She obviously reported this response about what the plan is for Game 5 for the Warriors. He had a very suspect response that I think a lot of Grizzlies fans will take a little bit of offense to. And also, when we come back, NBA playoff discussion. We had 2 blowouts last night. Both those series are at 3-2. We talk about the big picture right here on Sports 56 98.5.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
The weather and the deals are heating up over at Gossett Kia Covington Pike, and we're ready to put you in a new ride today. Take your pick. 2022 Kia Forte LXS 39 MPG Highway, $219 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Or get 2022 Kia Soul LX $219 a month, $29.99 due at signing, both 36-month lease. And third row seating with 2022 Kia Sorento LX $315 a month, 36-month lease, $34.99 due at signing. Plus peace of mind with Kia's 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Come see Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike. Online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month leases. Forte NE 483,548. MSRP 21,435. Soul N 7833,273. MSRP 21,140. Sorento NG 1166,57. MSRP 31,290. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Kia. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/22. Dealer stock only. Warranties a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Did you know Willis Carrier invented the modern air conditioning system in 1902? Since then, a lot has changed, but one thing that hasn't is being comfortable in your home. Choate's prides itself in creating the most comfort possible with each one of our customers' HVAC systems we install. We believe the best system on the market today is the Carrier Infinity System. This system has the ability to save up to 50% or more on your utilities compared to your existing HVAC system and is tailored to enhance your comfort with its state-of-the-art green speed technology. Right now, Carrier is offering up to 72 months, no interest financing, or rebates of up to $1,650 on a new Carrier Infinity system. Don't miss this limited time offer to have a more comfortable home and save money on your utility bills. Give us a call today at 347-8086 or visit us at ChoatesHVAC.com for more information. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
If you have damage to your home and have your insurance carrier involved, you need a great contractor. You also need a team that has seen claims of all shapes and sizes, residential or commercial. After our inspection, we'll share our findings and give you our professional opinion. Some people say you get what you pay for. However, our opinion is free. Trust the name you can depend on, like the tens of thousands of families Brian and I have served over the past 20 years here in the Mid-South. Brian Elder Roofing. We'll measure your roof from outer space and share our team's experience for your property and claim. Repaired roofs, replacement roofs, big roofs, tiny roofs, insurance roofs, flat roofs, TPO roofs, asphalt roofs, tile roofs, slate roofs, metal roofs. If your roof needs some love, call me. 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing and Contracting.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Like, I don't know. Can you just pick something and order? Yeah, but anyway, where are you at? You don't look...
It only takes 2 seconds of distracted driving to become a statistic. You can lose your driving privileges, your vehicle, face jail time, or even lose or take a life. Slow down, Memphis. The life you save may be your own. Brought to you by the Memphis Police Department, Traffic Operations.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-249-2509. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-249-2509 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-249-2509 to see if you qualify. That's 800-249-2509.
Some of the lawyers who advertise on TV say size matters. Well, at the law office of Steve Leffler, they believe size matters too. That's because when you hire the law office of Steve Leffler personally handles your case. With the big firms, you get whoever they hand your file over to, whether you know anything about them or not. When you hire Steve Leffler, you get Steve Leffler. And oh yeah, just like the big firms, you only pay Steve Leffler if he wins your injury case. Hire Steve Leffler, get Steve Leffler.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show. Right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
Dad, come on, you're going to fall on the barbecue.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Back in. Sports Time on Sports 56. Gabe Kuhn, Brett Stats, Norsworthy. I'm Gabe. He is Stats. Now tonight, 8:30, FedEx Forum. Grizzlies, Warriors, Game 5. Grizzlies facing elimination. And this just coming down. Malika Andrews posting it on Twitter. Kendra Andrews, her sister, of course, covers the Warriors for ESPN. And she asked Steph Curry what was the plan going into Game 5 in FedEx Forum. And Steph's response, Brett, and listen, I hate being on the receiving end of trash talk as much as the next guy, but I respect good trash talk. He said, the plan tonight is whoop that trick. Disrespectful. Okay. Very, very disrespectful, but I don't like being on the receiving end, but that's good trash talk. We can admit that, right?
Yeah, that is, and he has in his career backed it up. But I don't want to hear any, just poor old little old Golden State sitting out here and Memphis started it because he didn't have to go there. His team's 3-1.
Yeah.
Why do you have to go there? He could have said it afterwards at the conclusion of tonight about 11:15, 11:30. What did you think about that series? Say it and then point to the scoreboard 4-1.
I mean, it's always going to be. You say that. You use that type of trash talk against the Grizzlies, it's always going to be taken badly. It's going to be taken disrespectfully. I don't have that much of an issue with it in the grand scheme of things. But I think it's clever. I got to say that. I just don't like the energy going into tonight's game. It just feels like, and you can talk me off of this if you want to try, it just feels like the Grizzlies have gone through so much. John Morant not out there. Desmond Bane hobbled. Dylan Brooks, just the face of all the criticism. Taylor Jenkins' face of criticism. It feels like there's so much working against the Grizzlies tonight. I hope they prove me wrong and win this game. I really do. But the energy that is coming to the surface just feels like it favors the Warriors in every way.
Yeah, it feels like it could really bottom out and you could get one of those really all-time bad performances. But won't it feel good if it's the upset win, if it's the miraculous win?
I'm with you. I'm completely with you. But it's just
do it for Rich Strike.
Do it for Rich Strike. It just the energy's not feeling great at this moment. Now, last night the energy was not great for either of the away teams. 76ers get beat by the Heat 120-85, and the Suns get beat 110-80.
What performance was worse?
I don't know what to say about either of these. No energy or effort from either of the away teams last night.
Mm-mm.
And you
not
expect,
prideful.
And Joel Embiid, I know he's battling through so much, and there's so many issues with him right this second. But his performance that he turned out last night, that he put out there, was not on par with what you need to do to get over a team like the Heat in the playoffs.
And some are speculating, I don't think this is the case, that he was sullen over not winning the MVP. I don't think that's the case.
No.
Now, when he took I saw the replay of it. I didn't see it live because I was at baseball. But when he took that ball off the schnoz,
it's awful.
Night,
it's awful. That hurts so bad. I mean, he's got an orbital fracture. People have to realize that is a fighter's injury.
I got a good high hard one for you. Which one made you cringe more? When he took that basketball off of a broken bone in his face, broken orbital bone around his eye socket, or the no experience novice riding in the airplane that had to land the plane after the pilot had the health issue and was incapacitated?
I'm sorry?
And was able to land the
What am I missing?
Airplane over Palm Beach. Yeah.
I didn't see this story.
And you ought to hear him when he radios into air traffic control. No, it was Mr. Resolute. I mean, I want that guy on my team.
You want him in the foxhole with you?
I mean, because I promise you, if I'm riding in an airplane and the guy under the left seat goes out, well, it's taps.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just. I mean, I get on the radio and go, where can I land this way without hurting the most people?
Mm-hmm. But that's insane. I need to go read up on that story. But Joel Embiid, he's fighting through everything he can right this second. The thumb, the face, getting hit in the face early in that game.
Snubbed.
But, I mean, they lose by 25 last night, or 35, I should say. And the Heat got whatever they wanted. They had 7 guys in double figures. Jimmy Butler, 23, 9, and 6. And then for Philly, they only had 3 guys in double figures. Nobody got to 20. And James Harden, for all that he did good in Game 4, and I mean he did a lot good, probably his best game as a 76er in Game 4, he came out with that same vigor to try to score, to try to get on the board, and he just sort of ignored what he was supposed to do in getting everybody involved. He was a team low minus 29 last night, only 14 points, 5 for 13 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3. And after the game, I have to play the sound because Joel Embiid is very dejected, as you could totally understand, but this is what he had to say about playing in this series.
We see out there kind of rolling around in pain and see how much pain you're in. It's easy to kind of assume the worst. So just to be clear, are you putting yourself at any risk for playing with this thing, or is it just a matter of pain?
I don't think so. Obviously I'm not a specialist. I'm just listening to the doctors. I don't think so. So it's just about, pain tolerance. And, this is a lose-lose situation for me. If I don't play, probably get called soft. And, if I play and I play bad, probably come up with a bunch of stuff that I guess he's just not good enough. So it's all about, just, try to stay, not get too high or too low and, just going out there and really, try to, like I said, dig very deep and try to do, whatever I can.
I want to disagree with Joel Embiid on this, but it really is kind of a lose-lose situation for him. It is.
I agree. Totally
I agree wholeheartedly because he is not at 100%. If this is a regular season game,
correct.
If this is anything besides a second-round playoff game, he's on the bench for an extended period of time until that orbital bone. By the way, an orbital fracture, I don't think people understand. That happens to UFC fighters. That happens to boxers. That doesn't happen. That does not happen to a bunch of NBA players. But an orbital fracture and ligament damage in his thumb, and he's still trying to go out there and put it all out there. And I still think at the end of the day, Brett, when or if the 76ers get knocked out in this round, a lot of it will come down on Joel Embiid still. A lot of it comes down on Doc Rivers, but because Joel Embiid is the face of that franchise, he's the face of that team, he will still face criticism. It'll be held against him.
He will, Gabe, and all I can say for him is that's life in the big city. Mm-hmm. If you don't get a title, if you don't advance, if you fall a little short, and that's right now we're kind of, I don't think we're making excuses for the Grizzlies. I think it's factual. Would you have signed up for this end today on opening night? Almost all would say yes. But 2-3 years from now, you go out in the second round, then that's not going to be the same tenor. That's not going to be the same sentiment around things.
And here's the thing.
And that's where the 76ers are, and he got to know that.
And here's the other thing. As we move forward, as we get into this future, right, when we look at the past, we don't think about the circumstances that led to the exit for the 76ers if they do get knocked out. We just look at the exit as a whole, and we say, oh, well, they came up short. Not taking into consideration what happened to Joel Embiid throughout this series and how much he was beat up. And he really has been, I mean, he's been a warrior. He has tried to put it all out there for them, and it looks like, and I'm not totally positive how this will end up, nobody has won an away game in either of these two series, 76ers, Heat, Mavs, Suns. But it looks like, in all likelihood, the 76ers will fall short.
And Gabe, it's one of the many things that attracts me to sport. I love that scoreboard. I love that record book. That's who you are in the moment, the scoreboard, and that's who you are for posterity in the record book, in the history books. Gabe, you know how the St. Louis Cardinals got Whitey Herzog? He couldn't get it done in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. He couldn't complete it in Kansas City. You know how the New York Yankees got Joe Torre from St. Louis? Because I on these airwaves in the 90s was calling Joe Torre. Now you want to hear how silly I sounded? I was calling Joe Torre second place Joe.
Right. That came back and bit you, didn't it?
Just a little bit. He only walked into Cooperstown with all those Yankees teams. And that's how it is. Whether it's fair or not, whether Tony Romo really was better or not in his career, he couldn't do anything in the playoffs, and Eli Manning could. Mm-hmm. And did.
Yeah. It's a shame that we look at the record books the way we do. Black and white wins and losses, but there are
I know there's more nuance to it.
There's
there are more variables.
There's a lot more nuance.
The end of the debate is the scoreboard and the record book.
There's a lot more nuance to it, but we don't do that when we look back at it. Now, also, Suns versus Mavs. Good Lord have mercy. This was terrible, too. The Mavericks shot 38% from the field, 8 for 32 from 3, which is ridiculous considering they put up, they live at the three-point line. They absolutely live at the three-point line, and to have that type of performance,
doing that.
Exactly, to have that type of performance on the road in a game that you could have gone up. And by the way, whoever wins Game 5s, I think people have this is a well-documented stat. Whoever wins Game 5 wins 82%.
We know the Game
time.
5 numbers.
Suns are now 5-0 at home versus the Mavs this season, and in that second half, first half was relatively close. The Mavericks tried to stick in there. As well as they could, but in the second half, Suns outscored the Mavs 61-34. Wasn't even a game.
And it could be the Suns' time after last year's heartbreak, up 2-0. Really getting the championship celebration parade route drawn up in Phoenix, Scottsdale, and then here comes Giannis and the Bucks. And this year might be the closer. Once the Grizzlies are eliminated, there's no doubt I'm pulling for Phoenix the rest of the way, and that is hard for me to admit. As hard as I've been on Chris Paul through the years, and especially after the 2013 Clipper fiasco.
Doesn't a performance like last night though with Chris Paul sort of like, and I know they won by 20. I'm not trying to say they didn't, but. Doesn't a performance like last night bother you when it comes to Chris Paul? 7 points, 2 rebounds, 10 assists, didn't do anything offensively.
This is the time of year he disappears. For some reason,
even in a 20-point win, even in a 20-point win, Brett, it bothers me.
It does
because you just see it foreshadows what's to come with him.
That's where it should scare you the most. Is that all? That's all you can do. But for Phoenix to have, I think they came in 68, 69, whatever year as an expansion team, having never won it because, it looks like it's going to be Miami and Boston in the East. Well, Boston with all those titles and Miami with theirs. And then in the West, I'm never pulling for the Warriors ever again. Mm-hmm. And so it'll be easy for me to pull for Phoenix. But that's if the Grizzlies don't shock the world. You know how I'm going to start Friday. I'm going to take tomorrow off. Regardless, I'm not pulling a John going. I'm not long standing. Gonna be out tomorrow.
How are you?
But Friday, I'm gonna go. We didn't shock the world.
You're saying that right now, so that's your prediction. That's your prediction, huh?
No, I'm
the
gonna
Grizzlies
stay with
won't
the
shock
Grizz.
the world.
I'm going to stay with shocking the world.
Oh, yeah,
You hear the confidence I have.
Yeah, little to none.
But this has been a great year for the Grizzlies. I hate it's ending like this, but we don't get to script our finish in sports, do we?
No.
There's just so many beauties of sport. Again, the best reality show out there. You just never know what's going to happen. You don't know how that ball is going to bounce. What if the Grizzlies had won game one, Gabe, and you were so profound that Monday? I kind of wrote it off. I said, they're still going to win in 7. You said, no, Brett, this was a big miss.
3 games this series, you have outshot the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors.
You got to win.
You have to win those games, and that's what we're looking at right this second. And, again, it all goes back for the Grizzlies to – you even look at the first round of this year. They played down. They played dumb against the Timberwolves in those same plays that they got away with against the Timberwolves. They did not get away with against the Warriors. You have to take advantage of the situation against a team as good as the Warriors with all that experience.
Gabe, I said it after going to the Masters. It was sad. I felt for him. I really did as a human being watching Chris DeMarco in the gallery walk around. And nobody knew he was there. Nobody knew who he was. Nobody cared. And he was a time or 2 away from being a major winner. The year Tiger had the ball hang on the cup that we have the Vern Lundquist call in the crunch time loop, that probably denied Chris DeMarco of his glory. Instead of walking around there as nondescript as I was, I think more people knew me in the gallery than knew Chris DeMarco at the Masters. I mean, he'd be strutting around in a green jacket, treated as conquering hero.
Sports.
But you just don't know how it's going to fall.
Yep, there's no question. The other game tonight, besides the Warriors, Grizzlies, Bucks versus Celtics, an update on that. Robert Williams will be officially ruled out. Now, that's going to be interesting. 2-2.
Interesting,
and
for sure.
The Celtics have relied very heavily when he's been playing on his rim
Bucks
protection.
have led most of this series.
And helping
How
out.
are they 2-2?
And helping out at the rim on Giannis. And Giannis, I thought what the Celtics did to him in Game 4 at Milwaukee's place, I thought that was about as good as you that's how you try to play him. You try to make him score 34 points on 32 shots. You try to make him earn everything, and they're doing everything they can to beat him up. Giannis, I'm never going to doubt him by any stretch of the imagination, but I did pick the Celtics going into this series. I think the Celtics can finish it off.
Way Back Wednesday coming up. We want everybody to stay with us. I've got some good stuff for Gabe from In the Day, and Way Back goes back for the commissary, back to the early 80s in Germantown at the Germantown Commissary, but it's right there today for the millennials at both places. The new Collierville Commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or that original in Germantown back to the 80s where Walker Taylor took a chance, and it has paid off. And it's paid off because of you. And Walker tells me all the time, Brett, tell them how much we thank them. Tell them how much we thank our great customers, and they do. All the associates at either commissary. If you're craving an easier way to order, start by texting commissary to 33733. Start that barbecue feast with the great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales. Those barbecue nachos invented way back in the early 80s. And now everybody around sports and around town with barbecue nachos, smoked chicken wings, all of it so good. Dig into the ribs or the shoulder, chopped or pulled on a plate, on a sandwich, however you would like it. All the sides, slaw, beans, deviled eggs, bread as well. You can order it by the pound or a 6-pack or an 8-pack or a 12-pack. Music on the weekends at Houston, Levy, and Poplar. Tonight, take it out on the patio. Perfect night for that, to watch the Grizzlies late night, have some beverages, and have some great food. Have some great Memphis-style barbecue at the Collierville Commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar. Or the original in Germantown. It's quite a challenge, but save room for dessert, like the lemon icebox pie, the terrific banana pudding, pecan pies, all the pies so good. 901-754-5540. Online at commissarybbq.com in Collierville and Germantown. Always can cater your event and for tailgating, any occasion. Keep the commissary in mind. New Collierville Commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or the mainstay, the original in Germantown.
Last break of hour number 2. When we come back, it's time for some Way Back Wednesday. Brett gives me 5 questions based on his pop culture from back in the day, right here on Sportstime with Gabe and Stats.
Get your afternoon started with Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sang. and Sports 56 Grind Time. Weekdays from 1 to 3 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I often say they've set the bar for the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton Hyundai. You know how close that is. It's right there at Highway 78, Lamar Avenue, and Craft Road, the very first exit in Mississippi. I say it because they always come up with new innovations. And right now, when we've had all these shortages on new cars, Homer Skelton Hyundai is always going to come through for you. You won't pay more than the sticker price for a new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's Chris True's pledge. You'll never pay more than sticker price. Those other guys, they could charge you a whole lot more for that new car because they know there's a shortage. That never happens at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's part of the philosophy and the team that's been together for about 15 years now. You want the best of service? You want the best of products? It's the combination and the trust you'll always get from the best guys around. Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch.
Back pain, muscle spasms, bulging or herniated disc, shooting hip and leg pain with tingling in the feet? Mid-South Wellness and Neuropathy Center has the answers with their advanced machine called spinal decompression. This spinal decompression machine has saved their patients from addictive pain meds and back surgery. Let Mid-South Wellness Neuropathy Center get you back to playing golf and getting restful sleep again. Located in the heart of the city in Eastgate at Park and White Station, Mid-South Wellness Neuropathy Center is easy to visit. Give them a call today and ask for the Johnny Harden Decompression VIP deal and save 40%. Call 901-495-2320 and again ask for the Johnny Harden VIP deal at Mid-South Wellness Neuropathy Center. 901-495-2320. Call today and feel better tomorrow. Mid-South Wellness Neuropathy Center, the answer to your pain.
It's time to vacation at home with Family Leisure. That's right. Enjoy a vacation in your own backyard with a little help from Family Leisure. Like play gyms and trampolines, they're now $500 off. And those trampolines, by the way, they've got that mesh on the side, so trampolines are now safe and you'll be the hit of the neighborhood. They've got hot tubs in stock and ready to go, and you can get up to $1,000 off when you pick them up. All kinds of do-it-yourself pool specials, like savings of up to $1,500 on all in-stock pools when you pick it up and install them yourself. And if you're looking for patio furniture, then stop on in because they have tons in stock and they're ready for you to pick up. So get ready for that vacation at home with the help from Family Leisure. Family Leisure's Vacation at Home sale. It's happening right now at Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun truly do come together.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the next generation of drivers, where titanium ends and the carbon age begins. Introducing the new Stealth Carbonwood driver from TaylorMade, with 60 layers of carbon twist-based technology designed for better energy transfer and faster ball speeds. Come into Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops is home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, or shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
In the alley since 1948, the world-famous Rendezvous. John, it's so good to see everything kind of getting back to normal.
Brett, we've done a lot of ads before, but maybe it's time for me to do a recap. We have valet parking at the end of our alley on Monroe. On Fridays and Saturdays, we give away our wonderful red beans and rice until it runs out. And you know we like to do things local. Miss Barbara Jackson of O Taste and See has been making these wonderful chess and pecan pies, that's pecan, not pecan, and key lime pies for dessert. And we just started serving this wonderful gelato from Sweet Magnolia Gelato Company. And just to remind everybody, you don't eat cheese and sausage with a knife and fork. You take a cracker, you put sausage on it, you put a piece of cheese on it, a little mustard or a little sauce, take a bite and chase it with the pickle. Brett, we've always been the place for all gatherings, whether they're corporate, rehearsal dinners, retirement parties, birthday parties, whatever. We seat anywhere from 20 people to 250 people. And oh, by the way, we are now open for lunch from 11 o'clock on Tuesday through Saturday. Come see us at the Rendezvous.
Hi, I'm Tony Harris, former East High School and University of Tennessee All-American basketball player.
As a former player, I assisted a lot of teammates into scoring points on the basketball floor. Now, as an experienced insurance broker, I assist communities and families with retirement, investments, college savings plans, 401k rollovers, and life insurance with living benefits. This past year, in 2021, my company, HOM Financial Services, put $10 million back into the communities of Memphis with our services. We have a team of licensed experienced brokers ready to assist you and your needs. Contact me today at 901-501-9343. Again, that's 901-501-9343 at HOM Financial Services. Let me, Tony Harris, assist you today.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
Bon appetit.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Papa was a Rolling Stone, but now I got
Just a reminder, our show will be ending a tad bit early. Usually we end at 6, but we'll be ending around 5:25 because we have to accommodate our coverage. Ole Miss at Southern Miss. Pregame at 5:30. First pitch will be at 6. But it's officially time. You know, it's the last segment of hour number 2. It's time to bridge that generational gap. Let's get to Way Back Wednesday. I gotta say, Brett, through 2 weeks so far, well, this is our third week now.
Yeah,
I am doing relatively well in comparison. Yeah. I gotta say, 3 of 5 last week, 2 of 5 in week 1.
There's no curve a professor could have to even bring me up to a D, is it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I've had some generous professors before.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. Are you ready, Gabe?
Yeah, of course I am. Let's do it.
Gabe, you are all but writing the introduction speech into the Hall of Fame for Al Horford of the Boston Celtics. Great series. His dad, Tito Horford, was the number 1 recruit in the country. His recruitment was as big as anything you've ever seen. Give me 2 of the 3 college basketball teams he was a part of.
2 of the 3 college basketball teams?
He was at 3 places, and that was with no NIL and no portal.
Okay.
Yep. Tito was everywhere.
Oh, Lord. 2 of 3.
And Tito was a big buck.
Wait, he played for 3 college teams in his day.
He was a part of 3. He only appeared in games at 2 places, but he was a part of 3.
Okay. And this was in the was this 70s, 80s?
80s. Tito was a big deal too.
It's pretty impressive. Yeah, I know about Tito. Let's go. I'm going to stick with the SEC, even though I know that's probably wrong. Kentucky, he was part of. Do I guess 3, even though I got the first one wrong? Kentucky. Let's go with Florida. Why are you so quick with the trigger there, Brian?
Because I have the answers right in front of me.
Relax, man.
We have 3 to do on the first question.
How about Notre Dame?
Man, oh wow. No, his hometown, Houston Cougars.
There we go.
Then to LSU, and where he really played and excelled, the U, Miami.
There we go.
Question number 2. On Friday night at FedEx Forum in downtown Memphis, the legendary Who, part of the great British rock invasion of the 60s. Who is the legendary frontman for the Who?
Oh, Lord, no, I should know this.
You said you were going to study the Who.
Oh, no. What am I doing? Oh.
And I mean, one of the great vocalists ever.
Oh, I should know this. Brett Norsworthy.
No.
He wishes.
No vocalist whatsoever.
Come on.
I sing so horribly at church, even when I like the hymn, I lip sync.
Who is it? I should know this.
Roger Daltrey, the great Roger Daltrey.
I'm a dummy.
All right, let's go to the 70s. Memphis in the ABA, one of my favorite subjects. My mother took me to those ABA games, and it was so much fun. There weren't many people at them. I'm going to give you some names. You tell me which one of these was not one of the Memphis ABA
Another
names.
odd one out.
This is a multiple choice question, one wrong answer in here. A, the Memphis Blues. B, the Memphis Tams. C, the Memphis Sounds, or D, the Memphis Pros. Blues, Tams, Sounds, Pros. Which one was not associated with the ABA in the 70s?
I wanted to say Blues at first, and it could very well be right because I have no earthly idea what the right answer is here. I'm going to go D, Memphis Pros?
That was the first one.
Pros? Just the professionals. We're the professionals?
The Pros came from New Orleans, where they were the Buccaneers, and that was the first team. They were the Pros, then they were the Tams, and then they were the Sounds. The Blues was the minor league baseball affiliate.
How long did it take for them to come up with that name? The Pros?
About 2 seconds. They got rid of the Pros when Charlie O'Finley, the owner of the Oakland A's, bought the team and wanted and did change the entire color scheme to the same as the Oakland A's. And the TAMS was an acronym for Tennessee, Arkansas, and Mississippi.
The Pros. That is just, I mean, that's
Fourth question from that same era, from that same Memphis TAMS era. 1972 presidential election. George McGovern from South Dakota was the Democrat Party nominee that year. He lost 49 states to 1 to Richard Nixon. He had 2 running mates. The one he had on election day was Sergeant Shriver. And that was his first name, Sergeant Shriver, who did great work in the Peace Corps and was a really good person and part of his family, part of the Kennedy family with the Special Olympics. But who was the other running mate that had to be dropped? And he was from your home state of Missouri. Missouri United States Senator. Who was he?
When was this, in the 70s?
1972
I'm
election.
still stuck on Memphis Pros.
Well,
that's like naming, like, you have a baseball team and you name them the baseball players.
You want to know what the Miami team was in the ABA? You ready for this one?
Yeah.
The Floridians.
See, that's terrible. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We
spent about 5 minutes on nicknames in the
All
ABA.
right, running mate from Missouri.
1972, George McGovern from South Dakota. His first running mate dropped from the ticket.
Oh, Lord. Running
Your
mate
home
from
state.
Missouri. Running mate from Missouri. I don't know a lot of politicians from Missouri. Oh, my gosh.
Had Harry Truman, had Sanctimonious Stuart Symington.
Let's go with Roy Blunt.
Not Roy Blunt. Not Matt Blunt either.
Yeah.
Tom Eagleton.
Thomas
Eagleton.
Am I going to have an 0 for 5 today?
Yeah.
This is
0
pure
for 4
depression.
so far.
He's turned up the notch a little bit.
Yeah,
Number 5, final question. Name the person on this list that was not an on-air personality where you sit right now at Sports 56 or at 560 WHBQ.
I've got to get this right. Come on.
A,
You should get this one.
George Klein. B, Rick Dees. C, Wink Martindale. D, Haystacks Calhoun. Or E, Michael Eaves.
You know what? I mean, C, Wink Martindale.
I knew you would fall for that.
What?
You're thinking of the football guy.
Yeah.
He got his nickname from the Memphis legendary disc jockey, later game show host, Hollywood personality, Wink Martindale.
I'm just glad you didn't say Rick Dees. I love Rick Dees.
That's cheap.
No, it was D, Haystacks Calhoun. He was a wrestler, not an on-air personality.
Haystacks Calhoun. What? Okay, so how did he live up to Haystacks? What'd he do?
Yeah.
He's just a big country strong guy?
That's it.
Okay, Haystacks. Good old Haystacks. What do you know about it? My gosh, you got me. Well done. 0 for 5.
Bagel. The John Goen bagel.
This is not okay. This is not okay. Let's go ahead and get to a break on that note. When we come back, last segment of the day, have some Kyrie news to get to, then we'll get to Taco Bell Crunch Time.
The Townsend, Roger Daltrey, The Who with an orchestra.
Why don't you all fade away?
This Friday at FedEx Forum.
Who are you?
Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. The Who, live in concert. There's more at TheWho.com.
Hi, I'm Troy Fivesh, owner of Fivesh Roofing. Sunday, today and today only. And for the first 50 callers. These are things you will never hear me say in my ads. Because if you're honest, sincere, and knowledgeable, you don't need fast-talking, high-energy, gimmick-promising advertising to get someone's attention. Speaking of that, how do you think companies can offer huge rebates and giveaways when you use their services or products? By overcharging you in the first place. That's how. 5S Roofing doesn't operate that way. It's misleading and dishonest. When I provide a customer with the best products and the best service, and I do it for a fair price, why would I need gimmicks? Best products, best warranties, and the best service possible. That's all we offer. Well, that and financing. 5S Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5S Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
We're starting the holiday early at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike with our big-time Memorial Day sales event. Great things come in threes, so take your pick from 2022 Dodge Charger or 2022 Jeep Cherokee Latitude or 2022 Chrysler 300 Touring. We Gossett $469 a month and get workhorse ready in 2022 Ram 1500 Tradesman $489 a month or $35,860. 2022 Dodge Charger, 2022 Jeep Cherokee Latitude, 2022 Chrysler 300 Touring $469 a month. 2022 Ram 1500 Tradesman $489 a month. Plus trade up and get more for your ride at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat. Drive past the rest and come to the best or shop online GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motorcars.
Charger Cherokee 1575 at 4.11, 3,500 down. Must finance through Chrysler. 372 months at 2.9, 1,500. NS 148 243. MSRP 39,110. Charger NH 138807. MSRP 35,485. Cherokee ND 512,209. MSRP 35,735. 300 NH 11192. MSRP 37,135. Includes all rebates and incentives. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/22. Dealer stock only.
Looking for a cigar lounge to call your own? One that offers a laid-back environment with a full bar, comfortable seats to kick back in and enjoy a beer or a cocktail, and a cigar? Then G-Spot, Memphis's premier cigar lounge, is just for you. Offered a wide selection of cigars, and it's open 7 days a week, starting at 12 noon for your smoking pleasure. G-Spot Cigar Lounge is now offering a limited number of memberships that provide a locker and a humidor credit. For more information, call the G-Spot Cigar Lounge, 901-801-4276.
Found a great new restaurant in Horn Lake, Mississippi, Mr. Q's Sloppy Joe's on Highway 51, Horn Lake, Mississippi. Bring back those childhood memories from homemade Sloppy Joe's to mouth-watering cheeseburgers, spicy or regular fries, chicken tenders, chicken wings, jumbo hot dogs. Just a little secret, Sloppy Joe's has got that nachos cheese on it. On fire, delicious. Fried catfish that melts in your mouth. Light batter too, even homemade lemon cake. Check us out. Don't forget Q's Sloppy Joe's. Daily breakfast from 7A to 10A. Try Q's Big Breakfast. 3 homemade gigantic pancakes, 3 meats, 3 eggs for $10.75. Generous portions. Come hungry. Mr. Q's Sloppy Joe's, 5441 Highway 51. Just 20 minutes from Memphis. Can't miss it. Beautiful old brick house. Mr. Q's Sloppy Joe's, 5441 Highway 51, Horn Lake, Mississippi.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis.
What we are dealing with here is a perfect machine. It's really a miracle of evolution.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
I honestly feel like borderline disrespected by those questions. Those questions just, I don't know. They own me, Brett. Why'd you do that to me today?
They were from way back.
Oh, for 5?
I wasn't trying to dunk on you.
Oh. I don't buy that.
But it did pull the old.
I don't buy that. You brought up Haystacks Calhoun. You brought out all the twists and the turns for me today. Come on, don't mess around. But hour number three.
I'm gonna go deep next week.
Hour number 3 is here. I should say half hour number 3. We do have to get out early at about 5:25 because we are carrying Ole Miss at Southern Miss. 5:30 will be the pregame. 6 o'clock first pitch right here on 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Now, today in Brooklyn, as far as the Nets were concerned, they sort of had, I'm not going to call them exit interviews. That's not exactly what they were, but there was a presser with Sean Marks, the GM. They had Steve Nash out there. They had some guys to sort of wrap up the season. And Sean Marks was asked about sort of the future, the viability of Kyrie Irving as a Brooklyn Net, and this is how that went.
Is the organization committed to Kyrie long term?
Yeah, look, I think that's something we've been discussing and we will continue to debrief on and discuss throughout this off season. And it's honestly not just Kyrie. I mean, you bring Kyrie up, but we have decisions to make on a variety of different free agents throughout our roster. We haven't had any of those discussions yet, so it'd be unfair for me to comment on how it looks with us and Kyrie, because to be quite frank, he has some decisions to make on his own. So he has to look at what he's going to do with his player option and so forth like that. But I think we know what we're looking for. We're looking for guys that want to come in here, be part of something bigger than themselves, play selfless, play team basketball, and be available. And that goes not only for Kyrie, but for everybody here.
That goes for Kyrie. Let's be completely honest. Sean Marks was asked about Kyrie, and he answered. I thought he did a good job.
Fair enough.
And he's saying exactly what we've all been saying. Kyrie has to make a decision within himself that he wants to do this long term. And right now, we don't have the answer on if he wants to. Now, there's
a lot.
Does
it move you? How much does it drive you?
And
how much do you want this anymore?
If he and listen, like what Kyrie Irving has done. In regards to being a humanitarian, in regards to trying to donate to his causes, I think it's worthy. It's remarkable. It's a good thing. But do you want to do that or do you want to play basketball? And you can do both at the same time. Don't make the mistake, but you have to show up to work. If something happens somewhere in the world, you cannot just decide you're going to stick in your apartment or your house that day. You have to get up. You still have to move around. You have to do what you're supposed to do for your teammates if you're not doing it for anybody else. I thought Kevin Durant this year did a good job of trying to be there for his teammates in times of need and trying to show up every day and show effort.
There were a lot of blame game with the Nets this year. It was not Kevin Durant.
He showed up. He played 40 minutes a game.
Dave, you don't have to mention any names. Did you ever play with anybody in college for the Tigers that was just wildly athletic, super talented, but it just didn't move them? They just didn't want it like you did.
Yes.
And you'd want to go, come on, man, you were born on third base athletically.
There's a lot of guys like that where it just doesn't quite click. It doesn't quite click. Do they want it all that much? It just comes naturally to them, so they've never
I mentioned John Jay and Colby Rasmus, and I love seeing John Jay win it fair and square on the field to play. He wanted it more. He didn't have the ability in his Colby Rasmus had more in his pinky
at the
than
University
John
of
Jay
Memphis.
had.
There's a lot of names I could bring. I don't want to. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus by any stretch of the imagination. But there's also
I did just Colby Rasmus, but that was more his dad than anything else.
That's different. That's
his dad was
completely
one more tool.
What'd he do? What was wrong with
something else?
No, not getting deeper than that.
Yeah,
Colby Rasmus and his father. Huh? Yeah. Nothing. That's it. That's all you're giving me. Okay. But yeah, no, Kevin Durant did all he could to try to keep that team afloat. And Kyrie missing 53 games and not wanting to get vaccinated for a public health emergency. It was shameful.
Only the biggest one of our time.
It was shameful. Let's just say what it is. And with Sean Marks.
We said it real time.
With Sean Marks, I thought what he said about Kyrie having to look inside himself is very well put, but here's where the issue comes in. How does Kyrie take that? How does Kyrie feel about what Sean Marks said today? in the remarks he made to the media. We know how Kyrie feels about the media and how they're going to twist and turn certain things that he says and that Sean Marks says. How does Kyrie feel about Sean Marks being that blunt and that serious about Kyrie's intentions with the Brooklyn Nets?
Every team in the NBA has that end of the year evaluation, availability with the media. Only one has it with the Larry O'Brien trophy sitting on the dais. Only one. The other 29 are the defeated. Some happier than others. Brooklyn very disappointed. Whenever the Grizzlies have that, whether it's tomorrow, sometimes teams do it immediately and everybody gets out of town. Whether if the Grizzlies lost tonight, they do it tomorrow or Friday or next Monday, whenever they do it, what would you like to ask Zach Kleiman?
Put me on the spot here.
Here's mine. While you think about it, here would be mine. Zach, Mr. Kleiman, I don't know him at all, and he's too young for me to call Mr. Zach, why won't you give us a little more? Why aren't you more available? I know you don't have to tell every X-ray, every MRI, every deal that's being thought about, but give us a little more in the community. Okay, Robert Pera doesn't want to. That's fine. He's got a lot going on with other businesses, wildly successful business. But Zach Kleiman, your business, it's the Memphis Grizzlies. Why won't you give us a little more than you give us?
Mm-hmm. I would like to hear the response to that. That would be an impossible question to really get to the crux of. How would he go about responding to that?
I don't know. I want the answer.
Mm-hmm. There's been some.
I give up on Pera and his availability.
And with that question, and I brought it up to start the show. You know how I feel. I think there's something a little deeper with Ja and what's going on right this second. They're calling it a bone bruise. I know what a bone bruise is. What do you think?
That's what inspired me.
What do you think, Brett?
Your comment, your thoughts is what inspired me. And I promise you, I wrote it down on my pad here. I want to ask Gabe this later. And I want you to think about it over the next few days because they'll have that availability at some point, and we probably should go and ask these things.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? There's something deeper with John Morant and this bone bruise? And the other question that would come with that is there any concern for the future?
Be forthcoming.
Is there any concern for the future going into next year with what has happened with his knee? Now, again, bone bruise is a official designation. Make no mistake about it. But
it's not ligament.
How much they have discussed
Jordan
Poole leading to this bone bruise, Jordan Poole leading to this injury. That's not how you get a bone bruise. What Jordan Poole did. I'm telling you right now. Now it's certainly a way. It's certainly a way.
Respectfully to Zach Kleiman, again, they don't have to tell me every detail of salary cap if they're going to go into the tax. They don't have to.
I get that.
They don't have to run every deal by the assembled Memphis media. I don't expect them to. They've done a great job. We've said that countless times. They've done a great job. This front office we trust. Just give us a little more.
Here's the flip side of that coin, though. And this is what I'll say about it. The flip side of that is I trust this front office to handle the injuries and handle all the behind-the-scenes front office more than I have in a while. And when we're talking about the Grizzlies, I trust that they're going to do the right thing with Ja's knee. I trust that they're going to do the right thing with Dylan Brooks moving forward.
I trusted them on Justice Winslow, too, though.
Yes, that's true. That's really the one thing you can point to that they've gotten wrong, right? And even with that, how many times?
No, and shouldn't have been.
And how many times have we? It's a good point because how many times have we discussed it was worth the shot? It was worth trying to.
It was worth it.
Try to see.
I'll defend them.
Yeah. So I see what you're saying, but there is the flip side of that. I trust the front office to do the right thing. It might be simple as
Zach Kleiman, A, probably doesn't know that I'm alive. B, probably doesn't like the old man asking ABA 70s questions.
The Memphis pros. I can't get over that. That is just no.
Really put a lot into it, didn't we?
Good Lord. I mean, you've got to do
Should
better
have stayed with Buccaneers.
My gosh.
Memphis Buccaneers would have worked better than
call
pros.
it the basketball team or something. I don't know.
Or the Memphis Tennesseans, like the Floridians.
Floridian.
Who spent less time on that nickname, Miami or Memphis?
I don't know. That's terrible. That's terrible.
You know what?
L.A. Wildcats,
you know what,
though. L.A. Wildcats for the XFL is not great either.
You know what Honolulu of the WFL, what their nickname was?
The Hawaiians.
That's it.
Yep. That was easy. How did I know that? How did I know that? It seems easy.
Calvin Hill played for him. Grant Hill's dad.
Calvin Hill. Was he good?
Grant Hill. Calvin Hill was real good.
Grant
player.
Hill was great.
Yeah,
Grant Hill
Calvin Hill was a great. Calvin Hill was one of the first really dual threat to catch the football out of the backfield, to be able to run inside, outside, rushing the football, but also had really good hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Played college at Yale.
Yale. Good for him. Good for him. My gosh. I've always thought about that. That's got to be real tough. To go to an Ivy League school, be a student athlete there. That's got to be.
Because guess what's first? Student.
Yeah, and you got to keep your grades have to stay up, or you're getting suspended or kicked out of school, or the whole nine
there's no 5-year plan there. You get it done 8 semesters, or you go home.
Mm-hmm. No question about it. Now,
this hour of our show brought to you every day by DeSoto Auto Sales. At 5704 Goodman Road, you can go online at DeSotoAutoSales.com and check out all those beautiful cars. And at DeSoto Auto Sales, they're very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area, and they've done it so well through all these years. All the cars test-driven, all checked out thoroughly, cars you can trust, cars you will trust. Every make, every model, no shortcuts. At DeSoto Auto Sales, you'll be treated like family by kind, courteous employees, laid-back atmosphere, the antithesis of high-pressure sales tactics. They care about your time. They want you to enjoy the ultimate car experience. They know we live in a world today that time really matters. You find that car you want, you test drive it, credit approved, paperwork completed, all that's wrapped up in 45 minutes or less. It's a guarantee at DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. They have that car you want at DeSotoAutoSales.com. For that town and country experience every time, head on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
now, let's get to Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This is for all the biggest crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins. It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Brett, what I learned today, let's see here. I learned that Christian Yelich, and this is weird because May 10th and May 11th in the MLB, I guess this year, it's been wacky. Christian Yelich hit for the cycle today. And we just had our first no-hitter last night. It's
seeing a perfect
bizarre.
game tonight, Gabe.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wouldn't roll it out. I wouldn't roll it out.
27 up, 27 down tonight.
But it looks like he tripled in the 9th inning. In the 1st inning, he hit a double. In the 3rd, hit a home run. Single in the 5th, all off Vladimir Gutierrez. And he is the 6th player to hit for the cycle 3 times and the first to do it against the same team. He did it against the Reds every single time in his career.
Whoa. I've seen the cycle. I saw Kevin McReynolds do it for the New York Mets. Kevin McReynolds played high school at Sylvan Hills in North Little Rock. I saw him do it for the Mets against the Cardinals at Old Busch Stadium in 1989.
Can I say also for the NL Central, I don't think anyone wants to see Christian Yelich get hot, because the Brewers are already good.
Well, he wasn't last year.
The Brewers are already good as is, and he hasn't been good so far this year. You don't want to see him get hot because he was MVP caliber in 2019.
The Brewers are good, but aren't they a little bit like the Phoenix Suns? They never really wrap it up. They never really finish it off.
Well, and I don't know if they ever really had that team where you thought they were going to be able to wrap it up and finish it off.
In 2011, I thought they were that much better than the Cardinals.
Well, yes, I'm with you, but I'm talking about World Series contending. I've never had that feeling about the Brewers. Never.
I learned today I got to see my first inside the park home run last night. Harrison Bader, the Florida Gator, zipping around the base pass was fun to watch. It was the moment of the night last night. Now, I'm getting a little bit of conflicting news. I read at one place today that inside the park home run is more rare than a no-hitter, and it's more rare than the hitting for the cycle. Now I'm being told that that's not accurate on hitting for the cycle, but we still know what the Holy Grail is. The Holy Grail, the rarest thing you're going to see at baseball, the perfect game, the perfecto.
You're seeing one tonight, though. Let's speak it into existence, Brett.
I'll sign up for it now, yes.
Even though it was a loss last night, that had to be a decent game to go to.
It was fun.
Interesting.
It was fun.
I mean, that's all you ask for. That's all you ask for. Although a Cardinals win would go a long way. Now, what I could have done without Nick Saban, and we praise Nick Saban all the time for good reason. He's probably the college football coaching GOAT. But at a golf outing, he was talking about tampering and NIL and the transfer portal, and he's been accused by Louisville head coach Scott Satterfield of tampering with wide receiver transfer Tyler Harrell, who, of course, went there, I think it was about 2 weeks ago now, that he officially transferred to Alabama. And this is what he said, quote, "I don't know of anybody that tampered with him. I don't really know that anybody's ever tampered with all our players. I just think sometimes when things happen, it makes you wonder. So I'm not making any accusations against anybody that's done anything to our players, and I don't have any knowledge of anybody that's done anything with anybody else's players. Hopefully we have enough honesty and integrity." This is hilarious. "Hopefully we have enough honesty and integrity out there amongst us professionally in our sport that people are going to abide by the rules," end quote. Okay, that last part, complete joke. You do not have enough honesty and integrity in college football to abide by whatever rules and all the
law of the jungle.
Also, when we're talking about tampering, some of the stuff going on may not be against the rules yet. You're talking about players talking to players. We don't have rules yet. But also, him denying that there's been any tampering and, I don't know about tampering. I don't know if people have tampered with our players, yada, yada, yada. That's BS, Nick.
You see what else he said in that statement today before the golf tournament, the senior event? Said yesterday he played at Augusta National with Ken Griffey Jr.
That's cool. That's cool and all. But this quote is the whole give and take with NIL and transfer portal. Him trying to cover his bases is hilarious.
Yeah, that's pretty dubious. I could have done without. Yet last night I thought I was going to see Adam Wainwright in the farewell year, and I got to see Packy Naughton.
There we go. That is every day. Okay, do we officially put that name top 5 Cardinal history, right? Up there?
I don't know what tops it.
Packy Naughton. I mean, and I know this is an oldie but a goodie, but Whitey Herzog's a good name too.
Whitey's real good.
That's a real good one. Come on.
Whitey's real good. But Packy Naughton, he was good for the first inning or two, and then the O's got to him, made it stand. And tonight, I don't know that I'm going to get Wainwright this whole series because they're set with Michaelis tonight, and tomorrow they are set with Jordan Hicks. And I'm sure they don't want to interrupt his schedule.
Yeah, and they're very clearly all the contact tracing. MLB sort of behind on the COVID-19 and the updating of their protocols.
Well, boy, there's breaking news. MLB behind. Did I just violate my resolution?
I think you did.
I'll give you a pass.
Oh, Brian, you always would. You would.
I mean, it's
made it to May 11th, even if we hold.
We had to change all the rules.
You would give him a
all
pass,
the rules
Brian.
in life because of COVID. So I'll alter them again for Brett.
What are you chalking it up to? All the rules. What are you talking about?
COVID.
COVID, man, COVID.
We had to change
Supply
things. Everything
Supply
changed.
chain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gosh, Brett. You know what?
Gas,
Brian,
I paid my first $4 gas yesterday too.
Wow. Brian, and you're not complaining, right? So you're very happy about it.
Very. Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
Would have paid $8. may be doing it by the 4th of July.
Brian can give you a pass, but that was complaining. I'm calling that complaining.
Yeah,
you've broke your resolution.
Thank you, but it was close.
You have broken your resolution. What I'm looking forward
to. The tone was definitely
it was
one.
the tone, yeah.
Yeah, it was the tone.
What I'm looking forward to tonight, I like both of these games. One, obviously, because the Grizzlies are playing, although it's just looking bleak. It's looking rough. Of course, they're only 4-point dogs, so they have a chance to stick in there. We'll see. Just prideful at this point. Without Ja and dealing with all the injuries and everything else they're dealing with, they just need to stick in that game and put
good
up a
fan
fight.
behavior.
But I am looking forward very much to this game at 6 o'clock, Bucks versus Celtics. Somebody's going to win Game 5, and whoever wins Game 5, we know what happens. 82% of the time, they go on to win the series. What are you looking forward to tonight, Brad?
I'm looking forward to everything going on downtown at Game 5. Who knows? I know the shock the world starts with a win tonight, with a loss tonight. We know what we'll be talking about in the next few days and over the summertime, but I still say great year. Looking forward to being at baseball tonight, at Baseball Heaven. And you guys keep it between the ditches tomorrow.
Hey, by the way, shout out to the best fans in baseball, right? BFIB?
You got it.
There you go. You have fun. You're going to watch a perfect game tonight. Speaking it into existence.
I hope so.
Here we go. But that's all we have today. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Alex Kuhn for his contribution to the program. Coming up next, Ole Miss at Southern Miss. 5:30. We will have the pregame right here on 560 AM and 98.5 FM. 6 o'clock will be the first pitch. For Brett, for Brian, I'm Gabe. Enjoy your night. Enjoy the Grizzlies and be safe. We'll holler at you tomorrow.